a gross violation of judicial process on a cyber bully matter, a matter that is presumed to be a civil case. We've petitioned the magistrate. The guy that handcuffed us has been recalled. The DIG, they did everything. Because when on the 23rd, on the 24th, they called me. And when I saw General John Enenche, he went up, met the DIG, came with a bag. The bag was swollen when he entered, but it was flattened when he went there. There is CCTV there. They should go and check. When they were building that glory dome, the building caved in. 4 people died. I know then it was on Buhari's head. The government would have just closed down that place and said this. No, they let them investigate. I know they can use 7-10 years to investigate what happened. Abbas Ochogu was at the forefront. 4 people. Did you hear it? You can't hear it. They killed it. Abbas Ochogu was at the forefront. Packed those dead bodies to Gariki Hospital. They sutured them before they could even present it to the family because of how battered they looked. When Jesus Christ asked the disciples, who do you think I am? Peter said, you are Jesus, the Son of God, and blah, blah, blah. Jesus looked at Peter and said, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you. You are Peter the rock, upon you I'll build my church. 3 verses later, or 4, Jesus said, I'm going back, I will die, and go and this. So Bible says, Peter took Jesus aside and rebuked him. That's what tell you the personality of Christ. That Peter could carry Jesus aside and rebuke you. Can you carry Dr. Paul Enenche aside and rebuke him? Can you carry Oyedepo aside and rebuke him? You try. That's what tell you the personality of Christ. And Jesus looked at the same Peter he just built church on and said, devil, get behind me. That is how to follow any man of God. Don't follow a man of God to a point that, oh, this man has done great work for God. He has done great work for God. He cannot make mistakes. They can make. That book, you see, when I read that book, after reading that book, I now start loving Dr. Paul Enenche. I just see that he has his weakness. And one of his siblings told me that. And when I hear something about you, if they tell me you're a thief, I want to see if there is history or there is historical account of that thing you are telling me. One of his siblings told me that he told them in their WhatsApp group that he doesn't forgive. Don't come out and come and deny this one. Because if you know what we are sitting on, you won't try it. There was a pastor that came to meet him that they wanted to sell a land close to his church. He was believing God to buy the land. The night, Dr. Paul, you carry Patrick Ugbeku of blessed memory. They went to see that. Patrick told me this and paid for the land. That is why his church and that church are neighbors today in Gwarimpa. He had to convince the guy to be his spiritual son. He's king's man. So Papa, so hold on. Papa, the former PFM president from Warri, and an archbishop from Abuja almost want to intervene in the matter. Somehow they got them reconciled. I'm telling you, this is his operation. Let me give another operation again. There was a young guy who was he ministered in his wedding, or at his wedding. The guy saw a venue in Lafia, Bukansidi or something. I don't know. I've not done that part of it, whether Bukan something. I came to Dr. Paul Enenche. I'm calling his full name. I said, I've seen a venue. And this venue is strategic. I'm having meetings in my house already. I want to transit to that venue. They said I should bring 30,000. If you can help me, let me secure the venue. Dr. Paul said, go. I will, you'll hear from me after 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't know. He said when the time he gave him elapsed, he didn't hear from him. He was at home praying one day. His spirit said he should go to the venue. He now rushed there to tell the manager, please keep this venue for me.
I'm coming.
When he got there, he saw worship with us, Dunamis Church. That is where Dunamis Church, Lafia, started from. The man of God, the guy is a man of God now based in Uganda. He has God in his name. His name is a compound word. I won't say it here. He has told us, this is his operation. People leave you. The moment they leave you, they become something. It's a system that has short memory. They can forget your good overnight. Overnight, you become an enemy. And this thing is not Christ, it's flesh. This is not attack on Dr. Paulo. It's judgment coming on all human wisdom on the altar. There was one guy that left him in Buhari. This guy, we left him in Buhari. They shut down the guy's billboard and everything. Went to the venue, the guy was willing to pay double money. A pastor paid for a venue in Otukpo. Pastor Innocent is still alive. And they went to pay for the same, double the money of the same venue of his program when his advert was out. This is his operation. We are telling you, people are scared of Dr. Paul before. He has taken me to prison. There's nothing to fear again. So there's nothing. I can look at Dr. Paul and call him Paulo. I couldn't have done that before prison. These are his operations. There was a guy, there was a young guy. See, this many. One left in Kuje. They demolished the guy church about 3 to 4 times. The last time the guy on the caterpillar told him, go and reconcile with your former guy. You know, the family, they are very erratic. So I dropped the microphone. I said, I should drop the mic. Please, I should drop the mic and leave. They could drop the mic. So I entered my car, I drove off. So Dr. Paul thought I was going to media. He now sent his brother-in-law, Chief Emmanuel Ame, the Ochoba Chorokamo. Emmanuel Ame is a seasoned banker who worked in Zenith Bank. So sent him to call me because he knew I was close to a man, his wife. His wife happens to be his stepsister. And man said, okay, guy, you don't call me now. Where am I going? Dr. Paul said it was, you know, he has this way of denying things.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul can lie. He has lied on me. That's why I'm saying he can lie. Your guy, if I'm lying, come, let's go to court. If I no disgrace you from court.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is me again, KAA, the host of Cartridge Podcast. And today we are bringing it live to you once again. And I have someone at the studio with me, someone very interesting, someone who've come to tell us very informative stuff. His name is Enenche. If most of you, those who are older know, you still remember in those days when comedy was still unique and new to this part of the world, those who started the famous Night of 1,000 Laughs. He's here with me, and he has transitioned from comedy to a political analyst. And today we're not just going to be talking about comedy and politics. We're going to be talking about religion and his journey to prison because of one of our daddy Geos. All right, our daddy Geos, Pastor Paul Enenche. So it's going to be a lot today. Thank you and welcome. Enenche.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I have this propensity and rich history of lying a lot. They tell lies a lot. And I have proof. So you understand what I'm saying now? I'm just giving you this time. So when I saw the way the bride came to me and raked, I saw flesh. And nothing detests me like flesh. When I came out of prison, you know, I was to come here.
Yes.
I told you if I talk now, it was flesh talking. Because if you know what prison does to you, prison does to a man what rape does to a woman. Now, if I see a woman who says that any man has raped him, please go out to redeem the woman. I'm privileged to come out of mine. Abraham has not come out of his. When I came out of prison, I called one of my friends, Pastor Innocent Uloko. I said, this is what I was going through. There's something that enters me that wasn't there when I entered. That if I see Dr. Paul Enenche, I can stone him.
That anger.
No, it's not anger. It's not anger. It's not anger. It's beyond anger. To me, it's a thin line between deep-rooted, concentrated hate and depression. So I told him, he now said, Enenche, what do we do? He said, don't miss services. Be coming to the assembly of the brethren. So I was going to church. I know my church stood by me all through, but I love what they didn't get to interfere. I told them to stay back. My pastor provided for us, pastors, and many pastors, bishops sent money when I was in prison. I was even freeing people in prison, feeding them. The day I left the prison, since I came out, I've gone to free some persons. Even the pastor of our cell, I freed him. So when I had that thing, I was struggling with it. See, you can be looking at a man like this, the man is dying inside. You can be looking at a woman who has been emotionally abused. She's not what you used to know. So God, I didn't know when the thing left me, but I now called Pastor Isaiah Abraham, my friend. He now said, okay, Enenche, what happened is that you are bitter with Dr. Paul Enenche because you felt this man is supposed to be an agent of custodian of truth. He's the one smelling your name, calling people all kinds of things, telling people that there's evidence. Is it correct? I don't know again. That he would recommend me to read one book. That if I read the book, maybe it will help me. He drove to my house and gave me the book, God's General, the Roaring Reformers. So the book talks about all these Martin Luther, John Fox, all of them talks about them. Great men of God, great anointed men of God who did great works for God. And you see them messing up in adultery, messing up in divorce. The book writes their other side. So when I didn't even finish the book. I just read one or two of it. Something in me just, now call me back. Have you read? I said, I just read part of it. But I think I'm okay now. He said, why? He said, I've seen great and anointed men of God who fell into flesh. And I think Dr. Paul Enenche is not an exception. So it's obvious God doesn't use perfect people. He uses imperfect men. Understand? So, and this is what thing the followers should know. And now reference back to Bible. When Jesus Christ asked the disciples, who do you think I am? Peter said, you are Jesus, the Son of God, and blah, blah, blah. Jesus looked at Peter and said, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you. You are Peter the rock, upon you I'll build my church. 3 verses later, or 4, Jesus said, I'm going back, I will die, and go and this. So Bible says Peter took Jesus aside and rebuked him. That's to tell you the personality of Christ. That Peter could carry Jesus aside and rebuke you. Can you carry Dr. Paul Enenche aside and rebuke him? Can you carry Oyedepo aside and rebuke him? You try. That's to tell you the personality of Christ. And Jesus looked at the same Peter he just built church on and said, devil, get behind me. That is how to follow any man of God. Don't follow a man of God to a point that, oh, this man has done great work for God. He has done great work for God. He cannot make mistakes. They can make. That book, you see, when I read that book, after reading that book, I now start loving Dr. Paul Enenche. I just see that he has his weakness. And one of his siblings told me that. And when I hear something about you, if they tell me you're a thief, I want to see if there is history or there is historical account of that thing you are telling me. One of his siblings told me that he told them in their WhatsApp group that he doesn't forgive. Dr. Paul Enenche said it. So instead of running with it when he's running in flesh, he's anointed. There's no fun problem about that. You should know that this man has a weakness. One of his siblings told me that when they were small, Dr. Paul Enenche would send him to go and buy food. He would look at you in that and he will eat the rice down to the last grain. He will not give you and ask you that, is this sweet? If you talk anything, he will beat you on top. He was very vindictive growing up. Some of the things you are saying is not Christ-like. I've been around Dr. Paul for some time, and I can tell you, I've seen these traces around him. All the pastors that left him, they're no longer in his good books. My early sin was that I was going to Pastor Mudu's church. I was going to Ayo Adun's church.
And these are pastors that left him.
They left because one thing, my spirit will tell you that no vision is permanent. Every vision is seasonal. Your vision, me and you are talking here because this is our season together. We will not be together forever. You enter a car, your destinations are different. Some people come on, they will alight on the road. So if you understand vision from that point of view, you cannot keep people. At the moment they leave, you turn them to all kinds of things and you become smear campaign. Let me give you 2 operations of Dr. Paul Enenche so I know he's not a perfect man. And don't come out and come and deny this one. Because if you know what we are sitting on, you won't try it. There was a pastor that came to meet him that they wanted to sell a land close to his church. He was believing God to buy the land. The night, Dr. Paul, you carry Patrick Ugbeku of blessed memory. They went to see that. Patrick told me this and paid for the land. That is why his church and that church are neighbors today in Gwarimpa. He had to confuse the guy to be his spiritual son. He's king's man. So Papa, no, hold on. Papa, the former PFM president from Warri, and an archbishop from Abuja, almost want to intervene in the matter. Somehow they got them reconciled. I'm telling you, this is his operation. Let me give another operation again. There was a young guy who was he ministered in his wedding. Or at his wedding. The guy saw a venue in Lafayette, Bukansi or something. I don't know. I've not done that part of it. Whether Bukan something. I came to Dr. Paul Enenche. I'm calling his full name. I said, I've seen a venue. And this venue is strategic. I'm having meetings in my house already. I want to transit to that venue. They said I should bring 30,000. If you can help me, let me secure the venue. Dr. Paul said, go. I will, you'll hear from me after 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't know. He said when the time he gave him elapsed, he didn't hear from him. He was at home praying one day. His spirit said, should go to the venue. He now rushed there to tell the manager, please keep this venue for me.
I'm coming.
When he got there, he saw worship with us, Dunamis Church. That is where Dunamis Church, Lafayette, started from. The man of God, the guy is a man of God now based in Uganda. He has God in his name. His name is a compound word. I won't say it here. He has told us, this is his operation. People leave you. The moment they leave you, they become They become something. It's a system that has short memory. They can forget your good overnight. Overnight, you become an enemy. And this thing is not Christ, it's flesh. This is not attack on Dr. Paulo. It's judgment coming on all human wisdom on the altar. There was one guy that left him in Buhari. This guy, you always see, we left him in Buhari. They shut down the guy's billboard and everything. Went to the venue, the guy was willing to pay double money. A pastor paid for a venue in Otukpo. Pastor Innocent is still alive. And they went to pay for the same, double the money of the same venue of his program when his advert was out. This is his suppression. We are telling you, people are scared of Dr. Paul before. He has taken me to prison. There's nothing to fear again. So there's nothing. I can look at Dr. Paul and call him Paulo. I couldn't have done that before prison. These are his operations. There was a guy, there was a young guy. See, there's many. One left him in Kuje. They demolished the guy church about 3 to 4 times. The last time the guy on the caterpillar told him, go and reconcile with your former Oga. And these people are preaching the same gospel of Christ. Dr. Paul, tell me one Idoma guy that is riding on his wing. I saw him snapping with Michael Orokpo. His system lacks the software to produce a Michael Orokpo. He can't produce it. Michael Orokpo came, it was Pastor Aramen Osai that developed what he is. Dr. Paul can't produce a Michael Orokpo. It's not possible. You are in that church, you want to have a voice on social media. Who are you? Anything you are talking has to be daddy and mommy. And when I look at the model of Father in the Lord team they developed, let's ask ourselves, for the past 25 years, they have been preaching that Father in the Lord. How many of their kinds have they replicated? That system of Father in the Lord is not for you. It's a system to keep an empire. It's a system to keep a system. The system can keep you there, mentor you. Their children will come and mentor you.
You will remain a mentee.
You will remain there. See, Bible says those that are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. That system doesn't believe can be led. Dr. Paul Enenche will lead you. Sure, God will lead the up, lead the hand. But it's wrong. A church is supposed to be a place where you get the word of God and you become a better you. A perfect example of the doctrine of Father in the Lord, let's go back to the Bible, is the book of Psalm, when God called Samuel. Samuel heard the call, but Eli taught Samuel how to respond to the call.
How to understand it.
How to understand the call. I don't know if you understand. Samuel heard the call, but Eli taught him. That's a perfect example. So when today I go and tell my Father in the Lord, that's why if you cannot even hear God, you cannot run a vision. I'm having this leading to go and start a church in Kaduna, for example. My Father in the Lord now say, okay, if you are going to Kaduna, you know I served in Kaduna in 1975. If you are going to Kaduna, get to day in the night. How much are you having there? Your money is small and you need food there. Okay, get to day. There are lorries that are passing here to Kaduna. You can get there even for 500, they will take you to Kaduna. When you get to Kaduna, stop at that railway, cross to this place, go to that family house, tell them you are from me. Then you have a place to stay. If you are in Kaduna, have it in mind that their cold weather are very harsh. So avoid night meetings all night during this cold weather. This is how your Father-in-law is guiding you in your own area of calling.
With his experience.
With his experience.
Because he wants you to succeed.
But what the Dr. Paul Enenche have brought, the error they have brought to us, you just come and meet them, I am a potato. And you are a tuber crop. You are a yam that have strange experience here, but I'm a young potato. You are the Dr. Paul now say, no, you have to change to yam. Then you see, I am a yam, I have steak. For you to become me, you have to have a steak. So you see people becoming what they are not. That system, you have to lose yourself to fit in.
They become sycophants.
So you must lose yourself to fit in. So I saw those. He doesn't believe you can be led by he doesn't believe I have the Holy Spirit. If you ask him, my first car didn't start the engine. One young guy gave out his car to his pastor, and they were mocking where I was. And the day they brought the car, my ever first car, it was the guy that was in town to receive it. That same guy they were mocking. So I said, Blake, can you go and receive my car? The guy has drove it from Lagos, so they have arrived at Abuja. He received the car. I said, okay. He started driving the car. I didn't even bother. I lost taste about the car. Till today, I didn't start the engine. So if I don't know hear God, my first ever car, I don't start the engine. You tell me, say, I know they hear God. He has been fighting. The fight has been there. And, and it's laughable. And I tell Dr. See, your ministry is not, we'll ask people, what have you made of the ministry? Somebody in that day, they call it spiritual lineage, but they just call it he said he sold a car of 250 million and to buy a car, and his flesh was still alive to go and lock in a fellow pastor because of criticism. I say, what? And you think you are more successful in ministry than a pastor who is in Potiskum, who is in Meduguri, enduring the brunt of a persecution for 30 years and doesn't have a house? You think you are more successful than him because you gave out 250,000 million to buy a car, but your flesh is still alive to lock a fellow pastor who still believes in the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ. Who is a Christian? Who is a Christian? John 3:16. For God so loved the world, I gave his only begotten son. If thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in thy heart. These are the things that make you a Christian. Even a Muslim who stayed in the mosques, an imam that say, Kai, Jesus is Lord, he's saved, according to Romans 10:9. If you understand this system, we'll stop playing emphasis on the concrete we've built. I will pay emphasis more on mission. Like that man I saw in the bush, that is who to take this thing to. When you understand Christianity from this concept, you will love Muslims. Muslims will go to heaven if they believe the Lordship of Jesus Christ. He say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish. Whosoever. Whosoever here means whosoever. Including Tinubu, including Shetima, including Akpabio. Whosoever believes in him shall not perish. It didn't say whosoever believe in him and come to Dunamis or come to Living Faith and come and submit. So I don't wonder where they won't build their own spiritual covering. Our covering is in Christ. Dr. Paul has built you. If Dr. Paul doesn't endorse you, you can't make it. He must endorse you. He has done like my own now. He say, I'll never see, bros. I was in DSS last year. That one is understood. I was in DSS last year. I was in Force Headquarters last year. I've never had any criminal records in my life. I was in Dr. Paul's NHS brother's wedding, the one that is in Air Force. That one is different from them, character-wise. And I'm begging anybody, don't use this guy's anger to face this one. This one is different. It's our brother. He said, I should come. I say, if I come, your brother will come now. I say, Enenche, this one matter never finish. At least my wedding will unite on her now. Abba. I came to the wedding, I was talking. When I was inside, Dr. Paul said I should come and see him. He thought maybe I'll be scared of him. I went to meet him. I said, how are you? He said, fine. I said, I'm inside. Are you not coming? He said he was coming. I went inside, I was talking. One of his brothers, William Adoy, came and stood. So I thought he wanted to give me a name. Maybe there was a way the man wanted to come inside.
Yeah.
So I wasn't taking. I was saying, hold on, let me finish what I was saying. He said I should drop the microphone. The family, they are very erratic. So I dropped the microphone. I said, he said I should drop the mic. Please, I should drop the mic and leave. They could drop the mic. So I entered my car, I drove off. So Dr. Paul thought I was going to media. He now sent his brother-in-law, Chief Emmanuel Ame, the Ochoba Chorokamo. Emmanuel Ame is a seasoned banker, worked in Zenith Bank. So sent him to call me because he knew I was close to a man, his wife. His wife happens to be his stepsister. And man said, okay, guy, you don't call me now. Why am I went? Dr. Paul said it was, he has this way of denying things.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul can lie. He has lied on me. That's why I'm saying he can lie. Guy, if I'm lying, come, let's go to court. If I don't disgrace you from court. He wasn't aware. He was not the one. He always claims he's not aware. When I saw Sinachi's husband was convicted, I just say, Kai, this one has added to another poor crisis management again. As a church, when the woman died, and you come out and say, oh, this woman has just died, please, let us just respect the family and understand. You just deny that you are not aware. So you just left the guy. Which marriage don't they get problem? Marriage will have issue. But at this point, when there is issue, you just look for how to resolve it. That's the first thing to do. How do we resolve it to have minimal impact on the family and everybody involved? You just say he's not aware. You are a woman where you are in the sink and they go through this kind of thing, you are not aware, you're happy saying it. It doesn't show leadership strength. It doesn't show strength.
And you are her spiritual father.
But me, I know what happened. When Prosper did the Kweme and the Kweme blew, I know Dr. Paul. If I know too, he's the most insecure human being I've ever met. When Prosper did the Kweme and the Kweme blew, he might wanted to replicate the Kweme. Now went to do Narekele, use the same woman, Osinachi. So it was a fleshy disposition. Because I know I enter man. He knows I know him. Dr. Paul, he knows I know him. See, after going to prison, now I don't even fear him again. I don't fear him. When they went to the brother stuff, he said, Bible say, seek peace with all men. This is a glory dome office. We prayed and left. Not all things have gone. I've been there when he has said this and me. I've listened to them listen to voice no tire. Former pastor come tired. I've listened to that. I say, what is there? I just, even the one they brought for NAF Conference Center, when they brought it, that should come, and he was having issue with one of the Northwestern governor. Even his church in Kaduna was started because the guy wanted to say, let them go and check the papers. And they saw that there were some lapses in the paper. It was his lawyer, Barrister Abbas, that went. I intercepted the news and gave it to Abbas. Abbas had to go to the state and war. The state starts with K and ends with A. War Jalabia to go and make sure they settle the paper before the governor was speaking to them. You know the governor as I'm talking to you. So you see all those kind of stuff. Dr. Paul's operation. So when we prayed, we left. But 2023, fast forward to 2023 elections, I do political predictions analysis. If anybody that has followed me, I wanted to even start this thing, wanted to go full force, but Holy Spirit said, no, stay on this Facebook. This is where the world will hear your voice from. For 4 years, I was telling Nigerians, Trump was coming, until they started insulting me, Trump is coming. They used it to mock me. Today, he's there. I told them, say, see, if Obi to win this election, he needs Atiku. For Atiku to win this election, he needs Obi. For Tinubu to win this election, he needed Atiku and Obi to run in opposite direction. As long as they are running in opposite direction, Tinubu is the next president. I know the way obedient were firing us on social media. It was Deji Adeyanju, Reno Mokri, and Enenche they were firing, who were telling them that this is how the election was going. They were taken by emotions and stuff like that. You know where he stood in the election. So after the election, he's like, so what this guy? Because I was told that even in the Obi campaign, they were saying this guy is saying this thing we are doing. We are not doing anything in the north. We are not penetrating that place. That is flat in the north. They mocked me that lunatic that said Tinubu, no, Trump was still coming. Is that why you are respecting? They should leave him alone. So after the election, he felt like, so it has come to a point. They vowed I will never join the government. They went as far as redemption camp to say I write against Daddy E. Adeboye. I've never written anything against him. Who has he offended me? The only time I wrote about Daddy Adeboye was when he said, without tithes, you are going to fire, full stop. And I wrote on social media, I said, if anybody that loves Daddy E. Adeboye, Papa Gio, should go and tell him to retract this statement. This statement alone is enough to erase everything he has done in ministry.
Yeah.
Equating what Christ has done to tithes and offering. The Bible did not say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, whosoever believe in him and pay tithes shall not perish. He didn't say, if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus and pay your tithe and believe in your heart, thou shalt be saved. He's a human being. I just give you an example. He's like all you and I. That was the only time I wrote anything about that Gio. And the day he came out and said he has retracted that statement, I wept all through the night. He's a good man. What have I done? He went to say, I write against it. Bring what he writes. He cannot bring it. One of his members approached me for a deal. He was the guy that approached me. My saving grace was that he was the one, the chat was there. Somehow there was a bottleneck somewhere. Understand? And Dr. Paul got to know. The guy, very nice guy. One of the greatest guy with a good wife that I've ever met. They've shown me so much love in the past. Why should I come and dupe you? On what basis? They got to know, they instigated the guy. The guy must jail me, petition me. They sent petition to DSS. DSS invited me. Bros, in my life, I never do crime before. I live within my means. They invited me. My saving grace that the chat the guy started me was there. I screenshotted the chat, gave it to them. He came, met me, blah, blah, blah. And DSS, they are very professional. Before they call you, they even know where you are living. And I tell people, don't go into crime. Maybe their cell never get space. That's why they leave you. It is said they are not aware. they know where you day. Don't put hand for crime. Make sure you are clean. I said, I wrote a go. Because the guy, some people went to beg him. When DSS invited me, why are you petitioning this guy on this same matter? The guy confided in them that, in all honesty, I didn't offend him, but I write against pastors, and Dr. Paul says opportunity for him to deal with me. And I wrote it in my DSS statement that Dr. Paul is the one instigating him. That's what he told him. But me, I knew that after the 2023 elections, he said, it was alleged that he said, I will not enjoy this government. Because after the election, God told me start to wear the cap. I wear the Tinubu cap everywhere I go to. I was even the MC when they opened the campaign of 2021. That was the first time I wore the broken chain cap. I've been following him since 2011 when Akume brought ACN to Benue. The current APC chairman in Benue State, Austin Agada, was one that brought me to be anchoring their events. Then I was doing joke for PDPO, His Excellency to Swan, but I started campaigning against Otukpa Road. And they didn't like it. So Austin now said I should come and stay here just to have a political shield. That's how I started. I've been doing ACN. We did ACN. It has entered. I'm not a card carrying member, but I'm sympathetic to their cause. If I want to vote there in Benue, I'll look at Pauline Talen, my godmother, and I'll look at Akume. Where do they want? That's how we vote by interest. There are people who vote because of what you think, but there are people they vote by interest. So politics is what you grew. It's not something you just wake up overnight. I want to dabble.
So
into.
what exactly is Pastor Paul Enenche's business with politicians? I mean, I see a whole lot of politicians going there. Is it because he's a big religious leader, a big pastor in the country? And we've also seen some of his prophecies about politics that didn't come to pass.
You see, before I go there, let me say something now. So when DSS said I should just write, and I asked the guy, won't you jail me? You lock me up? He said, no, you're not a suspect. I swear, that's what he said. I said, okay, where is that place people give people chicken? Because anybody that comes to DSS, they look fresh are coming out. You know, say if I want to chop chicken, I have to go down and they will take me there, I will chop chicken. But I'm not a suspect, I can't chop chicken. That's how
they used to give.
Dr. Paul inspired the guy again, they should go to police headquarters. I was in police headquarters, they see SIB state command. So one of the guys there saw the petition. And now this guy is everywhere. A criminal cannot be. He will call this guy now for event, he will come. So why are you telling me? The guy now said, okay, I should do voice note and explain what has happened. He called somebody that knows me. And now did voice note and send what has happened. Meanwhile, there was a order. They used the CP then to just. He said he want to see me in handcuff because he has been spreading all kinds of things about me. So he needed to validate it. He needed something to validate it. You know, you have so lied about somebody that you just needed something to validate. And there's nothing he's accusing me of that is not happening under his roof. There's nothing he's accusing me of that is not happening under his nose, within his family, even within his immediate mother's children's family. So what's so special about my own? So when I did the voice note, all these guys had they say, Kai, if we go this thing, we'll get problem. You see now, because what they wrote in that petition, if not because you know me, you just tell me to go to where they are selling Black Maria. Then they will push me into the Black Maria and drive me straight to Kirikiri. No even need to try the guy. All the police guy just raised down. They say, okay, Enenche, what do we do? Can we just raise this money? If you pay part of the money, it's no longer a criminal case. They are trying to criminalize it. But the evidence you have that this guy even approached you to mobilize this for him, and you did, just because the money passed through your account. I now raised 7 million that night. Call one of my brother who is into real estate. Just send me 10 million. I just give them police, raise 7 million, pay. That was how I saved them. That I'm just telling you how I've gone through Dr. Paul's this thing. And this thing, they were calling people that the guy is a fraudster. He's a fraudster. He's a fraudster. He's a fraudster. He's a fraudster. Coming back to his question about politics, but Dr. Paul has a system that dabbles into anything. He dabbles into things a lot. This is my opinion about him. Section 25 gives me the right. And if he comes today, I'll go to court and I'll prove him. I'll show him areas. So if you're around him, if you're not careful, he can dabble into your work. You think you're working for God, but you're working for flesh. Like he does politics, politician there, he has mass followership. He's an evangelist. He's not a pastor. I used to be very angry with him until I now just go and know he's an evangelist. Evangelists are not called to operate a church. Evangelists will come like Reinhard Bonnke is a perfect one. You come here, you hit the ground,
You go to
lead people to Christ, hand them over to a pastor, go to this place. Evangelists move with crowd and signs and wonders. These are the two things that goes with evangelists. Even Bishop Oyedepo, I respect him a lot. To me, it's evangelistic and prophetic. So these men, they are not even supposed to run a church. And God now bless them with pastors who help them to absorb their shocks. So that their nakedness cannot be seen, because evangelists they don't have patience. Evangelists and prophets, they don't have patience. They're not patient people. They're not pastor. Let me give you an example. If you have problem now, real problem between Pastor Kumuye and Bishop Oyedepo, who will you, like real family, real personal problem, who will you meet to counsel you? Kumuye. Kumuye is a pastor. Daddy Iyadebo is a pastor. Abioye is a pastor. But because they are running this stuff, God bless them with pastors. And most times they can't live, they are not running it like vision of God. Because you are running vision of God, God will bring people who connect into that vision to help you achieve it. But when you start running it as your own, The people who get connected because of it was a vision of God, they start to lose taste in it and start pulling out. That's why it looks as if some people are leaving them. No. They came, like me and you now, we are running something that there's a set goal. The day you start to change it, there won't be motivation for me to follow you up. So the politics side of him, I've never seen him as a successful politician, rather as a failed politician. He mistakes the crowd for political assets. But I've never seen it yield result. Dino Melaye, my elder brother, Dino Melaye, he was there. Since he went there, how has been his political fortune? Senator Ayo, Senator Ayo, so once this senator from Enugu that just died, Azogweze, how do you call it? Ayogweze of blessed memory. He was there. The younger sister was even telling me how his brother was there and they prayed for him that was going to be governor and all that. The man is so seed. The wife was there. But he never entered Enugu government house. You understand? His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan was there. In short, he won his 2011 elections with the Tinubu. For 2015, he was there, but he couldn't go back to Villa. And because of his closeness with Goodluck Jonathan, he prayed for Buhari to die for 8 years.
Buhari refused to die.
Refused to die. They will come, they'll say,
You see that God
he didn't pray anyway. He does it stylishly. They'll say Islamic, and that. Buhari has his flaws as every human being. And I tell people, every leader, you enjoy his strengths and pay for his weaknesses. The one that even happened recently, what about Benue State? His Excellency Governor Samuel Otom, the defender of the Benue Valley. If not for him, we will not get village again. He stood and held the line and insisted, though, the people will not take over this our land. But in all fairness with him, Otom's second tenure, Akume made him Otom governor. Otom lost primary in PDP. Akume brought him from APDP to APC and give him the ticket. But he still fell out with Akume. In his second tenure, Dr. Paul even recommended the commissioner from Ogbadibo. Even the local politicians in that local government are angry with him till today. Then he now come again in 2023 and crown it up with, carry the poor political vote and gave it to Obedient. And nothing came out of the voting pattern. He had 1 week to election in Benue, the last Saturday to election in Benue. Dr. Paul had a crusade in Makurdi. So what do you call it? Is it God that led you that do that one? You see, you take some actions, you think you are very wise. But people are watching this whole thing. That, people are not talking. This generation, me and Dr. Paul belong to two different generations. His generation, you can bully people. Oh, he's a man of God. Just keep quiet. Let us not talk. Oh, he's a man of God. He's anointed. Now, we haven't praying to drag him. You have taken me to prison. Now they pray. I even look for you. Come again. Come arrest me. I they pray to drag you. As one cooling down Sahara reporters, I know he was there for us. Sure, he really tried for us. Dr. Paul's operation is like this. He was lying. He was not the one that took us to prison. And they arrested me 23rd of December. 23rd. Christians planning how to take Christian to prison.
On the 23rd of December.
It was 21st. My mechanic called me
just 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, 21st of December. My mechanic called me that some people came from FID that they said should take me to my house, that there's a report from presidency, that the presidency is even involved. Imagine mechanic. I said, why didn't you invite me, boss? They want to criminalize how they arrested me. You understand? They wanted to criminalize how they arrested me. And I said, okay. I called the guy. Why are you going back? Why can't you invite me? What have I done? Am I hidden? Where I sit and talk to your superiors, you don't even get to that place. If I'm doing anything, you come, you should know me. He said, no. I should not be angry now. He's okay. I said, okay, no problem. On the 23rd, they tracked me to come and pick me. I was scared. I was thinking, have they set me up in murder case? Because I know I've not
done anything wrong.
What have I done wrong? I'm not into crime. My mind wasn't shaking. When I saw the petition, I hissed in my mind. Is it what? 2 posts that I made. Dr. Paul has over 70 of my posts, allegedly, what one of his siblings told me. But those 2 posts were the one they could adopt. Because none of them I mentioned his name. The matter is in court. I don't want to talk about it. My bail condition was level 15 civil servant, landed property in Abuja, an affidavit of good behavior. So no court order ban me from talking about my experience in prison. I hear them saying that I violated bail. They should revoke my bail. I say, you are very stupid. So those were the 2 posts he adopted. So, when the election time, the way I spoke about the election and it happened the way it happened, they started onslaught that I was this, I was that, I was this. I told them Tinubu is the next president. And most times I stand and say, if this thing goes this way, this is how it will happen. They talked, oh, the guy is this, is that. They started calling the system. I know the beauty about it is that you must have used a tool to frustrate people in ministry. You cannot bring that same tool to governance. It's only a minister can come and say, this Enenche guy is a thief. An average pastor will run with that sentiment for 20 years. Until one day will realize that, no, this guy wasn't a thief. So when they started coming to the government to tell them this guy is this, when they interview, when they investigate, it comes out negative. They say I write pastors. Well, there's one appointee in this government that said the way they said this guy wrote about pastors, he thought the guy was saying fuck Jesus. No, sorry, I used that word. Was the guy said there's no God, I would deal with Jesus. He said when he even came, the guys were even preaching Christ, even more than the people accusing him. The man was so angry because the day they came to tarnish the name.
Chai.
See, I've been to events where I brought up somebody. He said there was a time I wanted to use you. You are this good, but Dr. Paul Enenche said I should not use you. I've been there. It happened. Let it come and, before now, the man with microphone has so much power. But with this era of social media now, every information, everything I'm saying here is one call or one click of button away from validation. Before you can just say and talk something that even government is finding it difficult to cage people. So you cannot. Why you see those of Anglican or Presbyterian or Equa pastors do you see are shouting that they're attacking church? It's the Pentecostals. They imported so many women wisdom on the pulpit, and the realities now cannot sustain it. You told people if they submit to you, no government policy will affect them. We had that gospel. Did you hear it?
I heard it.
And today, then the country can't even sustain fuel subsidy. The system can't sustain it.
And everybody is feeling the heat.
The system can't even subsidize your naira. The naira just has to float. Through government policy, hunger there everywhere. The same people you told that if they submit to you and sell seed to you, government policy will not affect them.
No, they are the ones crying.
You told them if they put your sticker on their car, they cannot have accident. They have your sticker in their car, they still had accident. You told them if they submit to nothing happen to any of their family members, they still bury their mother. Their mother was sick, they sow seed to you, they still bury the woman. I don't know if you're not. So the thing is not sustaining. Somebody serve you, you woke up one day, you sack them. Say God has given you mandate. From Genesis to Revelation, I don't know anywhere God gives you law. The law binds with you that is sent to go and give the law. When God gave Moses 10 commandments, even when God said, thou shalt not steal, that thou shalt not steal involves Moses. When Apostle Paul was writing to the church in Corinthians, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. Paul was not doing it. He said, follow me as I follow Christ. So you can't come up and tell us that God gives you a mandate, retirement age is 10, and you never retire. It's not from God.
When you're 15.
It's not from God. It's not of God. So, when you look at these people and tell them, these are the kind of things that Dr. Paul say, I'm attacking the church. One thing with him is that he has elevated this man so much, even above the Bible. That's why Dr. Paul can stand and tell you that if his father-in-law says you should close down this ministry, we'll close it down. Sir, shut up. That's an error. Your father-in-law doesn't own the church. So you cannot close down what you don't own.
He's saying it because his father in the Lord
No, it has become, his father, no, you cannot. They elevated this man. That's why when somebody will say without that you are going to hellfire. And I say, no, retract this statement. He start going to and telling I write against them. He cannot see this man through the eyes of the Bible. He has elevated them above the Bible. I don't know. Not all of us are swimming in that error. Not all of us. You don't carry me go prison now. You pass anyone again. You don't pass anything again. There's nothing to fear again. And I can look at Dr. Paul and say, Polo stick. Paul, right in my eyes, Dr. Paul has jailed people. This is his operation.
For speaking up.
Not for speaking up. People that worked with him. Pastor Philip Abba was jailed. Philip Abba was his pastor. It was money thing that had issue. People begged Dr. Paul Enenche, leave this guy. One of the persons even that begged him, Philip Abba told me when he was alive, that Dr. Paul said on this matter, mercy has expired. That was the day I put my hand on my heart and said, God. And we are talking so that people should start paying attention to his operations. It's not all that is under anointing. Elijah killed, is it 450 prophet of Baal? The next moment, anointing leave him. He was running from Jezebel. It's not all the time these men are talking under anointing. When they tell you to do certain things or certain assignment, run it with the scripture. How can your pastor be telling you to go and lock people in the prison and he's instigating you, give you money in the back? As if there is no First Corinthians, is it First Corinthians 5:6 or 6:5 that the Christian should not take a Christian to a court?
You know, I'm not really against anybody taking anybody to court. Whether you are a pastor, whether you are a priest, I'm not against anybody taking. This is my personal opinion. You can take anybody to court if you feel you've been offended. My problem is when you try to suppress justice with your influence, your connection, to intimidate and harass those you presume to be bigger than. So if you are a big pastor like Paul Enenche and then you are taking someone to court, and then when you first of all give the police hierarchy a lot of money because of your influence, they will no longer carry out good investigation to truly determine who is wrong and who is right, and serve true justice. That is what I'm against.
Let me tell you something here now. I just told you about Philip Abba.
Yes.
Dr. Paul Enenche has jailed his lawyer.
His own lawyer.
His own lawyer, Barrister Abbas Ochogo, was locked. It was his uncle, CP William Ochogo, who was CP Lega at First Headquarters, that freed him. Abbas today is my lawyer. When they were building that glory dome, the building caved in. 4 people died. I know then it was on Buhari's head. The government would have just closed down that place and said this. No, they let them investigate. I know they can use 7-10 years to investigate what happened. Abbas Ochogo was at the forefront. 4 people. Did you hear it? You can't hear it. They killed it. Abbas Ochogo was at the forefront. Packed those dead bodies to Gariki Hospital. They sutured them before they could even present it to the family because of how battered they looked. Abbas went to Kwara State for one of the burials. As a lawyer now, he has a way of playing around certain things for the family to sign. That kind of a thing. It was site accident. Then they'll use some kind of stuff. They killed, buried everything. Now that same man, Dr. Paul, had in mind to go and lock. Why? That he gave him money to do certain things for him, including Abraham. That Abbas was working with Abraham. Because how come he gave Abbas money, Abbas could not? When his uncle paid him, 2 very senior respected kingsmen, our kingsmen, a retired justice of Supreme Court, we have 2, the younger one, and Obasanjo's chief economic advisor, jointly went to meet Dr. Paul to beg him. He refused. That Abbas must be debarred. When I heard that, I said debarred. I won't visit Abbas in Buhari when he was in law school, because we know right from even from school. I said, they say you go debar. So Dr. Paul has finished with his generation. Show me one minister from Benue, our side, that worked with him. They all came around him, but he has this way of suppressing them. His operation suppresses their gift and this thing. He can look for somebody who knows you to go and malign you. Abbas was jailed. So he locked up Abbas. It was his uncle that he brought. Abraham Daniel. You have taken Abraham to prison 3-4 times. This is the first time, second time, third time. And
Abraham has been truly messed up.
When Abraham is talking, I tell people that just leave him alone. Abraham is not what you used to know. And you're taking him back to prison again. You take her dad to prison. The police station, so those are numerous. You can't even name them. What even attracted me to Abraham was when Abraham said he was no longer a Christian. See, if you have the heart of Christ, and a pastor will drop a Bible and tells you he's no longer a Christian, you should cry. I say, Abraham.
Because of what he's seen.
Abraham was a Christian until Dr. Paul made him not to be a Christian. Dr. Paul should be ashamed. Dr. Paul should be crying for that. Jesus said, if you have 100 sheep, one is missing. Go after that one that is missing. Abraham, Dr. Paul, all this running around, jumping on stage as a hip hop artist. You will go to heaven on the last day and God will ask you, where is Abraham Daniel? What will you do? You should win Abraham with love. Not sending him to prison. Shame on you. And when he does something, I'll be wondering if he has a copy of the Bible. Do you know one of the things that pained Dr. Paul was that when he locked his brother No, his brother was locked at FID, he slept there. And Abraham, I was the one that went to buy food for them. He was even bragging, telling people, imagine a pastor locking his former pastor, who is now an atheist, and his stepbrother. And he was angry that I was the one that went to buy food for them. Why would I buy food for them?
I should have left them.
I should have left them. I know when they arrested me on the 23rd of December, they collected my phones. And I told them, if I don't see my lawyer, I will not speak. I'm not write anything. So when I said that, they were a bit, they pulled back. And I wore this broken chain cap of President Tinubu. They said I didn't know anybody. I'm just a fraudster. Who did I defraud? They don't have. So when I now carry my phone to call the lawyer, I now sent Abraham message that they don't carry me, I'm here, I was here. So Abraham broke it. When Abraham broke it, they were a bit uncomfortable because what they wanted to do is to keep me there. And Dr. Paul has this, I don't know how they reason. Like you are like this, I'll just wake up and say, I want to run you over. But we can't walk. Even your house help, you can't just wake up and say, I want to run her over. You may succeed the first time, second time, until she jams a lawyer or people start coming out. So we agreed that I should go apologize to Dr. Paul. I didn't see that fancy it. I said, okay, let me just go and do if that would be peace. They didn't call me again to go apologize. Until 13th of January, December, when I was in police station, they just added me over that they've gone to get a court order to remand us in prison. Bros, we're not taken to court to be arraigned. No. It was from police station straight to prison. They went to get the court through one Gabriel, somebody, a police prosecutor, to commit us to prison pending investigation. A gross violation of judicial process on a cyber bully matter, a matter that is presumed to be a civil case. We've petitioned the magistrate. The guy that handcuffed us has been recalled. The DIG, they did everything. Because when on the 24th, they called me. And when I saw General John Enenche, he went up, met the DIG, came with a bag. The bag was swollen when he entered, but it was flattened when he went there. There is CCTV there. They should go and check.
This is
So when we were in the prison, when they just said they sent us to prison pending investigation. That was what they took us. The process was so bad that night, that 13th night, they took us. Because me, I was writing exams. I only went there to be sure that I just got that anytime they were inviting Abraham, they were calling me in too. Dr. Paul, he wanted to rope me into Abraham. Abraham has some kind of churchy liability personality now. So if he succeeded in robbing me into Abraham, I mean, I was one that saved Dr. Paul Enenche. One of the times he sent Abraham to prison, Abraham went to meet Showore in prison. So I now discovered that when I was talking to Abraham, this Christ, Abraham said I should bring 50 million. He will accept my Christ. Later on, he reduced it to 10 million. So he now told me, I know he was very close to Showore, and it was Showore that helped us. Me, I'm a pro Tinubu government, they carry, that kind of stuff. But they were like, Showore came for us, and I'm forever grateful to him. Last time I said I should not wear the cap close to him. So that night, when they carried us, my lawyer, I didn't want my lawyer to get involved because my lawyer and Dr. Paul, the lawyer he jailed, is from the same Orokamo with him. They're from the same village. So when we got the DPO Zone 3 rejected us, I didn't know because I'm not into crime. I don't even know anything, police terminology, all those criminal things. They rejected us because there was no detention warrant. They only just got the court order to keep us in prison pending investigation. The guy now took us around, took us to one police facility like that. That's where we slept. The next morning, he went to the court and brought in one prison guy to make us feel we are going to prison. Sorry. We're going to prison. We stayed at the court premises till 5 p.m. before one guy was bringing paper and he was putting it in his pocket. Because the guy was telling us, let them call somebody, they will tell us how to go about it. You understand what I'm saying? But we said no. Our lawyer even came and asked him which court gave this order. They refused to reveal the court so that we can just vacate the order. Some people now came to meet us at the prison and said our king was aware of it. That is Ochidon Makwaga Baidu. That's and I say our king too don't put mercy. I say, hey, because our culture, the king is not a personality. The king is an institution. It's like a deity.
Yeah.
So when your king has
gotten involved,
if anything, at that point, no matter your madness, you calm down. So that was our king is involved now. And then no matter your grievances, anything you have against Dr. Paul will be resolved. Understand? Which is what I was even hoping to do at the point, because this man is maligning me that Enenche wasn't my name. I'm using it to do people, and people are just complaining up and down. So now, okay, let us go to the prison. The next day, they will come and discontinue the case. Then we'll go and, in our culture, even as I'm running my mouth now, the day me and Dr. Paul will reconcile, I will still apologize to him. I was first apologize to him before, after apology, if I now tell him
You express
my,
your anger.
my anger. That's the Thomas culture for you. So I said, okay, I will go apologize to him now. Then from there, I'll go to Kpa and go and tell the king my pains, my grievances. The next day, my lawyer was calling them. They refused to pick the call. 16 missed calls, they refused to pick. In their mind, we were in prison. When we got to prison that night, it was around between 8 p.m. The detention warrant they gave to us, duly signed by His Worship, Emmanuel Yana. There was no offense on it, the three of them. The prison official there now said, what kind of detention warrant is this? It's our kingsman, Oche. Because he saw the thing on social media, he waited to receive us. It boils down to the Idoma spirit.
Yeah.
As I am, I used to just say, oh yeah, Bole. There's that tendency we are not many, but we tend to love ourselves. This kind, but we are not tribalistic. The average Idoma man can be drinking his gari in his with pride, and will look at you your eyes and tell you to get out. But one thing you will know with him is that he's very loyal. If he stands with you, you can go and sleep. If he doesn't stand with you, you come and tell you, bros, I'm not standing with you. So they don't know how to. So when we got there, it was our kingsman, and I said, what kind of detention? It's okay, it's late. He's even confused right now. It's against prison policy to even admit us with a detention warrant without offense on it. And now it's late. Court is far. Kefi, zone 6. I should just enter inside. That maybe tomorrow, the guy that brought us, he will tell him to go to the court. Understand? If it is what they will do. That was how we entered the prison. So that night, it was as good as I was an innocent man in the prison. I was in a prison with a detention warrant without offense. I didn't have offense. There was no offense on my head. It's duly signed by Emmanuel Yana, a magistrate who is presumed to be a pastor. He's a pastor in one of the churches. So you could see the connection. So when we saw that in the morning, where God will catch them, I don't know how they did it again, but the next time I cited the detention warrant in court, what we saw was cyber boiling, section 24, because it will carry the offense and the section you violated. So they didn't write the cyber bullying, but it was cyber boiling. So it's like the person that called the court. And I was thinking it was a mistake, but the magistrate knew what he did. He knew that sending these people to prison with this number of days on cyberbully, if this thing get to media, he cannot defend it. So he left it open. So some people, anybody that says, okay, maybe that is for murder, is for, you understand what I'm saying? Because he knew that him sending these guys to prison from 13th for 17 days stretch, if he put that cyberbullying on it, it's going to be more indictment on him. So the detention warrant that took me to prison, duly signed by the Chief Magistrate Zone 6 Court, Emmanuel Yana, never had offense on it. And the next time we saw offense on it, it was cyber boiling. They wrote.
What does that mean?
See, which means the person that called the court maybe is a low-level educated personality. So he just wrote what they told him on phone. Cyber boiling is they just spell it for him also. So when we got there, we had seen the lapses. Me, I've seen the end already. But we got there and there was rage on social media. Showore sent his lawyer. And I begged Showore's lawyer that, okay, anything you are doing, just add me to it, Barrister Oyege. My barrister too, Abbas Ochogu, also sent in Barrister Dino. Dino is like our Ganifo Emi. He don't Ghanaian. So Dino came but Oyege had gone far. So I told Dino, okay, just stand and be looking at what they are doing. Other lawyers, Agada, all of them, others came in too. We've seen the end. So when the lawyer was calling them.
And I also sent a lawyer for Abraham there.
Yeah. You sent a lawyer that first time in this thing. Yeah. So when they were calling them, they refused to pick. And I told Oyege, activate plan B. And now sue Dr. Paul Enenche at Federal High Court, enforcement of fundamental human rights. Because the two posts he brought to court, I cannot, what I'm saying, all this I'm saying on this thing here, it's not cyberbully. The religious people are bringing their mindsets that you cannot talk into the society. Cyberbully, to me, my understanding of cyberbully is, I don't want to talk. It matters is it's cyberbullying. Let's go to court and see it. But I can have an opinion about you. You can start to preach a message. I have opinion about the message. As long as you put it in public domain, I have opinion about it.
Yes.
As long as I encounter your system, I have an opinion to, I can form opinion about your system. I have the right to air it. Section 25 gives me that right. But when I come to your house, Kel, I come to your house and take your nude picture. I have something private with you and I want to take it out, or I've taken it out. That is bully. Or I come to the media and say you are a kidnapper. I have to prove it. I come and say you are a thief, or you're a rapist. I have to prove it. And in pressing cyberbully case, you cannot press criminal case on somebody's behalf.
The person must be present.
The person must be present. That's why Daddy Adeboye shouted at the pulpit, you leave that guy. Because what that lunatic called Adama was doing was like telling Daddy Adeboye, come to court and defend this case.
Imagine Adeboye in a court
with his schedule.
And trying to commit that.
Daddy Adeboye will now say, my lord. No, it won't mean my lord. It's even magistrate. They went, your worship. You know, I am Daddy Adeboye. In court, you won't say daddy. I am Adeboye, the pastor of the father of Pentecostalism, current pastor of Pentecostalism in Nigeria. You saw what this guy wrote, what this guy said about me.
It's not true.
No, the guy want to kill me because you have to they have criminalized it already.
Yes.
If Adibi is a civil case, you just fight to the high court. You find lawyer. You don't need to arrest the guy. You say something about me. Oh, I'm suing you for so and so stuff. And even before you sue in civil case, you give the person 14 days notice to retract the statement. If he doesn't retract, they give him 7 days notice that you are going to court before you file a civil case. I don't need to be there. It's lawyer versus lawyer. But when you now go and carry person that installed at the Adeboye, and you now criminalize the process, use police. I know they have some of the spiritual babes. So they are not even Christians. They say, Daddy, we can do it. We can arrest him. Then you now start falling for that kind of lunatical gymnastics. So what you are telling us, when Dr. Paul kept us in prison and people saw what we wrote, the mob were clapping for him. But the system, the elites are laughing him.
Understand.
Say, is this why you took them to prison? Is this what you want to go and stand in a magistrate court to defend? So you don't come and start. I don't know if you understand. Let me go back. I don't want to talk about them. Let me talk about consider of Daddy. At least Daddy Gio no go send police after me. Then Daddy Gio now will now come to court and say, this guy, he said this about me, and this thing he said, your worship, if you don't jail him, he will say it more. The last time he said it, I had that attack. They took me to India. This is because you have to bring proof.
Yes.
This is the money I paid in my private jet, and this is what I paid in the India hospital. My lord, if you keep this guy outside, he's going to kill me. That is how pathetic when pastors are arresting people. That is how it sounds. So when I told the guy that activate plan B, they now sue them, sue Dr. Paul Enenche, especially on fundamental marriage, because the process they even used to take us to prison is faulty. I'm on administrative bail on the 23rd of December. I've not jumped police administrative bail. Even that 23rd, they arrested us. The IPO, Barrister Sadiq, who is a barrister solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. He was there. He was this thing, but I know the guy, one of the very bright, intelligent guy, give it to him.
Yeah.
But they were induced. They were not induced. I retract that statement. They were influenced. The first time they were so professional. I never knew that Nigerian police has evolved to that enviable level. They're so professional the first time. They say, they say there's no case here. I'm gonna go settle now. Brother Stiaf. I say, I'm not his brother. Don't call him my brother. My brother will not bring me here. He brought out bail bond, that they call it, printed it out, level 15. I don't know if that level 15 is anything they went to the magistrate. I don't know what level 15 happens to do with them. Landed property in Abuja and my international passport on the 23rd. Where will I get level 15 from? So if I had not brought that 24, if I had signed it, then the next day they'll say I cannot be there more than 24 hours. I've not met my bail condition. They'll now go to the court and get an order to have done a Christian's planning how another Christian will do Christmas in prison. World largest church. So when my lawyer came in, he now hit my leg and spoke Idoma for me. Barrister John Ochogu, who is Abbas Ochogu's elder brother. He said, I signed up, Mano. I sign up ban. Say don't sign it. If you don't sign it, they won't have any legal ground to go to court and get an order. They must give you that bail. But you sleep here till tomorrow. But if you sign it, they have what to go and present to the judge that you have signed bail bond. And they, for what they are saying, the magistrate even was within their everything. Because General John, when we were in prison, General John told them that it's because people are visiting me in prison. That's why I'm even making noise that he can influence me. They will not grant me that bail. So when they were not doing that, okay, apply for the certified true copy. So when he has to apply for the certified true copy, we saw Dr. Paul Enenche, Adama, the one you call Agama. Agama was the first complainant. Dr. Paul was the second complainant, because even the police at FID, they know.
Wait, the name of Pastor Paul Enenche was there as a complainant.
It's on Sahara Reporters. Sahara Reporters. Maybe after I'll Google it and give you the link so you see it. They published it. I don't know where they got it from.
And yet he's denying that he's not
aware. When the one came out, he couldn't talk again. Since then, he has not said anything. He's not that. He was aware. Even when they arrested me in police headquarters, I sent a message to his number. And he immediately replied that the message I sent to him was not remorseful enough. Dr. Paul, you cannot just arrest somebody and say, come apologize. That's not apology. Apology should come from a broken heart. Not something you induce. You know, everything about them these days is plastic, is cosmetic. So including apology too, you have to act it. Kind. And Dr. Paul is mistaken that when you say something against him, he thinks it's a state and he reigns supreme in that state. So when he has a contrary opinion or he says something he doesn't like, he thinks it's a sin. And now God of vengeance is not reacting, so he now thinks it's a crime. The state should jail you. I don't know if you understand. When the stuff come, we saw their names in it. And somehow, I don't know, it went to Sahara. So I don't want God to say that me go give media. It was on Sahara. So when they saw that and all those, they started begging. They sent people to me in prison. I was the one that stayed there that long. Some of my people now are the system. So this man had mind. After what you said to President Tinubu, he left you. You have the mind to come and influence his system. And what they used is that they went to lie that I was writing against Daddy E. Adeboye. I know the IG is also a redeemed member. So most likely when the thing came in, it's a pastor. Nobody, when they say somebody is writing against your pastor, there's every tendency. I don't have proof. Probably it's just minute it down. But you know that Dr. Paul was out to fight vindictive fight, vengeful, or want to hit his enemies using that as a cover. So probably, I don't know. I don't have any proof. But if you look at it logically. So they just capitalized, it's a redeemed guy. Okay, we can finish this guy and this thing. It was when we were in prison, when they showed them that this is who you take to prison. They saw me and my Tinubu cap. They now started begging. I said I wasn't coming out. That this case must go on. And I know if the case will go on, Dr. Paul must come to court. He's the second complainant. I don't know Adama. Adama cannot press a criminal charge against me.
That is correct.
And police knew that this thing we're doing, they cannot leave only Adama's name, so they put Dr. Paul's name. And General gave statement.
General Enenche.
Yes, his brother. My father was a soldier. I grew up in his military home. I was born at Yaba Military Hospital. And when I call his name in this thing, I feel sad. I feel sad. Because I have great respect for those men. My father told me, anyway, I see a khaki man. As I am like this, talking to you, if I see you fighting soldier outside, even as we talk like this, I go join you and beat you. It is when I enter barrack, I'll ask the guy, say, what happened? I don't need to ask what happened. The moment I see you fight any man in khaki, as a barrack boy, we will join you and beat you first. Let it be that the guy took your wife. We don't want to know. You don't touch that khaki. So mentioning his name in this petty matter, it's something. So when we came out, the first day, they say our lawyer beat someone and blah, 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 blah. We went back. But General has said it initially that they would deny us bail. So it wasn't, we were not surprised. That was to break our spirit, to accept their peace. Because even the magistrate didn't want the case to go on. The mess was too much. They told him that we are nobody. They will just do it. So probably he just went with that emotion. So when they saw that the case must go, that's even a case is coming up on the 26th of this month. We've petitioned the magistrate. I've told him that I've lost faith in you to handle this case. Because you pass judgment on me even before seeing me. In the Nigerian, they call it Agja also. It's even wrong to send people to prison even without even seeing them. Because there's the law stipulate that you should even be sure that they can withstand the prison stress. You can't move and carry a sick person to prison. Somebody who has a viral disease or one communicable disease, take it to prison to go and kill the people in prison. This man sent us to prison without even seeing us. And he cannot even explain that in the Nigerian law. Because when petition comes, it's law versus law. You state the law that gives you that, they gave you that power.
Exactly.
So they are all running from pillar to post. So when they saw that I insisted that the case must go on, he has been blackmailing me. The guy that they used to petition me now, the guy doesn't want to have anything to do with them. Because he's feeling bad. That petition cost the guy so much fortune. They thought they were destroying me, but they were destroying the guy's business chances. Very nice guy. I've never seen a nice guy like that guy. Up to now, I don't have any business hating him. So let me just as I round up this, I don't want to even talk much because I've even said much before now. You know, I'm not really a media person. I like to be very private with my life, do my job, eat my food, and go my way. But I want to let Dr. Paul and Dr. Becky know this, that what I'm saying here is not an attack on you. Every human wisdom on the pulpit right now is failing. Every human wisdom. And Christianity is practically useless without love. If you cannot see love, it's not Christ. If it's not Christ, like it's not Christianity. I'm not doing this, so I saw the case must go on. So that when they want to call police for anybody, it means you have criminalized the case. Police have to come in and you want to press a charge. Have it in mind that you must come to court. You saw what happened just yesterday when they say Pastor Olukoya, sorry, with all due respect to him, and that we took somebody to police station, that they had plea bargain, and then the guy had to accept his guilty so that they give him a very light judgment. And they still came back to me and said the guy has been convicted. What happened was that if that case was to go on, Dr. Olukoya will come to court
himself.
And now they say that, oh, you can't come to court. Okay, why can't we just have this? When I was in prison, I told Dr. Paul, I told them what to do. But the Dr. Paul Enenche I know is that instead of him to give what he will achieve, spending 100 naira giving to his enemy, you prefer to spend 1 billion through the other route. For example, if I have issue with you, I say, okay, pay me 10,000 naira and let this thing finish. Instead of me to give you that 10,000 back, I would prefer to carry 10 billion. Dr. Paul Enenche is the most vindictive and insecure personality I've seen on the pulpit.
Well, how does these guys have this so much influence on the government institution?
What happened is that, let me tell you, they use the miracle to entice people, the anointing to entice people. People around them, some people out there, they are fighting. All of us have issue. Even if you look at that, you have issue. Everybody has 1 or 2 issues. You need spiritual intervention and stuff. It boils down to the flesh. Flesh has entered into it. All Dr. Paul Enenche followers, all. He didn't lead them to Christ. They are all members of either Equa, Catholic, Methodist. They only use miracle to entice them. So they're out there fighting for miracle. So when they fight for Dr. Paul, they are fighting for the miracle. But Jesus Christ said, love your enemy, pray for those that persecute thee. Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7 in a day. Jesus, he said, vengeance is mine. Leave vengeance for me.
It's like they have scraped that part of the
It's
Bible.
not in their Bible. If you talk, you die. Die by fire.
Die by fire.
You have a contrary opinion with theirs, you should die. That mindset is what they brought into politics. And since 2015, the will of God has not seen that rock. The moment they stand in a place you are not standing with them, you are an enemy. If I just pray God should help him. All this we are saying is not because we hate him. And Dr. Paul Enenche has built a system where you cannot criticize him. You dare not. If you're around him, just telling Daddy you are correct. Daddy, you are doing well. The people are liking you. Oh, people are here. Daddy, I went to one village. I heard your music. That is something he wants to hear. He doesn't want any feedback. He doesn't have the software to take criticism. Look at President Tinubu. What did he say about President Tinubu? What did he say about President Tinubu? What has Reno, Mokri, and Boala have not said about President Tinubu? What did Tinubu do? Tinubu could see them through those insults. Tinubu could see this one can be my spokesperson. Through the insult, Tinubu can see this guy can be an ambassador. But Dr. Paul, who is a pastor, a supposed preacher of the gospel of Christ, who fought Muslim ticket, who is a preacher of Christ, preacher of love, preacher of forgiveness, preacher of 70 times 7, preacher of if I slap you here, leave this place. Now they carry people go prison. So if Dr. Paul should stand and Peter Noble stand, who is more Christ-like?
And it seems most of the people they use to perpetuate this intimidation and harassment are people who belong to the same church. members of the Christian community.
What I've seen around Dr. Paul is, when your system is no longer spirit led, it becomes you just do it because you want to do it. It becomes a problem. You attract all kinds of people. The quality of the actions you take determines the quality of the actions you take determines the quality of the people around you. I've just told you the kind of people around him. Daddy, you are doing well. This is our case. The approach is senior advocate from our Kingsman. He told them that this thing, there's no case here. He has seen this thing now, we are saying now. But they were driven by that vindictiveness. We have connection. We can lock them, nothing will happen. Daddy, we can do it. And you are locking me in Abuja, and your branch in my village was, boys, don't they look and bad. If I was in that place 1 week earlier, you would have had bad news. You are in Abuja insulting a sitting governor, and you see your foe in one place, they don't look, open the file. So as a leader, you don't take action based on how you feel. You take action based on how strategic these actions are. It's like President Tinubu just wakes up now and said, oh, Neo Fife has insulted me, dethrone him. Does he have the power? Yes. But does he have the authority? No. Do Dr. Paul Enenche have strong people in his church? Yes. He has senators. I don't even know anyone there. He has judges. Do you have them in your churches? Yes. Can you influence them to take people to prison? Yes. But do you have the authority? No. Do you have the authority in Bible? No. That you have a power doesn't mean you can exercise it. If President Tinubu wakes up today and go and dethrone Totiv or Ataigala, he has the power. He can tell the governor, I don't want that man. But you create more further crisis. This clan will say, our son did it and you remove him. Okay, problem has started. Does President Tinubu has the power to use army and flush out all the Fulanis in the bushes? Yes. But the matter is more complicated than it appears. So I feel ashamed that some certain things that Dr. Paul Enenche get himself involved. Does his brother general has a service piece to? Yes. Can he just vex and just waste me? Yes, he can. But does he have the authority? No. Power is not authority. So when you start to abuse power, then there's something fundamental is wrong with the operation. Dr. Paul Enenche, get this to know. I was the MC for your wife's 40th birthday. I've been close around you enough. All the things I've expressed here, my opinion about you, Section 25 gives me the right to have opinion. The wife even went as far as getting somebody to come and bear false witness. The girl, ladies in Texas right now as we speak. They went that petty. They went that messy. So if you know Dr. Paul Enenche of Dunamis International Gospel Center and you love him, pray for him. His weaknesses is pettiness. If pettiness is a calling, he has a full-time calling in pettiness and insecurity. Very petty and very insecure. Anything can trigger him. Any new pastor that entered Abuja triggers him. Anybody that just entered Abuja to start music, all these things that I'm saying, I wasn't led to come and sit down here until my spirit say go. It is not attack on Dr. Paul. It is human judgment on the pulpit. Human wisdom on the pulpit that is coming on that judgment. We must go back to Christ. When I see Dr. Paul, I want to see Christ. We want to know who is this Christ. We want to see Christ's love. A time will come, we will not validate your ministry by what you built or what you acquire. We will validate your ministry by how many people have used this business to produce. When I see some of his followers on social media, they shame for him. How many deeper life do you see insulting people on social media? How many Christ ambassadors do you see insulting? So the character trait of every follower can be traced to his leader. If your leader is erratic, you are erratic. If he's insultive, you are insultive. Dr. Paul Enenche, I don't hate you. You took me to prison. You caused me pain. I was writing exams. You did everything. You still lied that your hand wasn't involved. When certified to copy coming, your hand was involved. I want to see you in court. Since this is what you have degenerated into. Come to court and come and stand as a father or a pastor of the world's largest church and prove that these 2 posts I made. You had others, but they say I did. Your name wasn't mentioned. You cannot use it. You that have bullied me, I have every opportunity to just sign that document and they will release it and before they come and carry you. I said, no, you carry me to prison. You that have maligned me, you've told people all kinds of things with testimonies, everything fully on fully ground. Now me, you carry go prison. See, I do you cyberbully. I don't forgive you, but come court. Mom said, I want to see you for court. I've told you what to do. If you had done, when we came out of prison, if you had done what I said, they wouldn't have been in for this interview. They wouldn't have been there, but he won't do it. So I don't want to state more than this. And because of that thing, see, since this place, God will bless you, Ore. Showore stood by us. It was Abraham.
Showore is a good man.
It was Abraham that Showore stood by us all through. I'm a pro. I'm a pro. Even till now, I'm a pro. Tinubu. He said, don't mention. I
Don't
said,
wear
no,
that
me,
cap around me.
naturally, the man, Tinubu inspires me. I love his leadership and his crisis management skill.
Mm.
I don't know if you understand. You do it was Dr. Paul Enenche that becomes president of Nigeria, or P2B become president of Nigeria. And they give his brother NSA that it was alleged that they negotiated for him. That the freeze, they would have built a prison that the freeze house and built a wall around his house and named it that the freeze prison. Damina would have been in prison. I don't know if you understand. Me, even the small power, they were trying to negotiate soft landing and through redemption camp. He has messed it up. Look at the mess he created. How can you justify you are now taking Tinubu's men to prison? We are trying to do soft landing for you. So what you go create?
So Enenche hated you more because of Tinubu. Is that correct?
We had our issue before now.
Yeah, so
we met in his office.
Was it amplified?
But I think the election contributed because I was very loud in my analysis. And my analysis were contradicting what he was doing. Even from the election night, I've done this since 2011 election. On election night, give me 5 hours, I'll tell you I've won election. All I need to do is to take this voting pattern. On the election, there's one post I made on that election night that I was going to church. People think that's Saturday night. When I was looking at Lagos, the Southwest, Tinubu was doing well, but only Lagos. The mistake people were doing is this. Some people were showing where they were winning and not looking at the other balances. You look at this Lagos, you see some places Obi was winning, Tinubu was winning, so it was like a scale. You look at Benue, the same thing was like a scale. Understand? But when you go to the up north, these are polling units. When you start seeing north was between Atiku and Tinubu, but Atiku wasn't having any vote in the south. Only Tinubu had vote in that core northern belt from that Sokoto, Jigawa, Zamfara, Yobe, Gombe, Bauchi, down to Niger and Kwara. He was doing very well. I don't know if you understand. Then Tinubu has Southwest. No matter how they love Obi, they'll still vote for Southwest. I don't know if you understand. So the lead Tinubu Obi was bringing in from, and even in Plateau, Tinubu has vote in Plateau.
So the summary of it.
So when I was analyzing all this, it's like was taking life away from probably what they envisaged that they want everybody to believe. You understand what I'm saying? And he went very deep. He went very deep on this matter. I was thinking the man after election will just respect himself, just maintain his cool. I didn't know he would come and be dabbling in the system and be using Adama. Imagine a world largest church. You are presenting somebody to go and file up a criminal charge. That alone is laughable, as if you don't have a lawyer in your church.
That reminds me. This the Adama led what's the name? Association of Concerned Youth Christian, blah blah blah. Do you think they are being funded by these daddy Jews?
No, what happened was that, from what I heard, Adama said it in police station that December. The Adama guy wasn't really a bad guy per se. I died with him. I just believe he was used. He was bragging that they have a deputy governor, they have a minister, they have a senior advocate. It was a group they formed. So and the mistake Dr. Paul is making is that this generation is not your generation. Your generation, you can say anything, you will keep quiet because you have mic. There's no social media, so you can't have feedback. You don't know what they are discussing in their bedroom. This our own. You are talking, somebody is, and you are saying somebody is being. You are trying to format them to believe in a certain way. Damina is deformatting them with their phone. One pastor in Lagos is telling them on that thing. So nobody really have that grip of control. So these guys, they're not trying to, it's not trying to come to terms. If somebody is insulting somebody, go and know what is the grievances. What are the grievances? If Adama had brought a hamper to my house on a Christmas day and said, Enenche, please, I'm a Christian. What happened? Can we resolve this thing? Do you know all these things won't have happened?
That was the same thing I told Adama when we met at the police station. He said he knew me. I said, fine. If you know me, why didn't you reach out to me? People went and wrote a petition against me. A very useless one.
See,
All right.
Dr. Paul has propensity. For me, Dr. Paul has propensity for writing the most useless petition I ever read.
Yeah.
It doesn't carry water.
So, and then you look at someone like me and feel I'm someone who can just threaten. And I hate threats. Once you begin to
If you threaten me, I'll do it.
I would
In
take
short,
it personal.
Threats brings out me. Threat, I want to see it.
All right. So when I looked, I asked him a question. I said, see, this thing you people are doing, I like the fact that you established this kind of organization, but these are the areas I want you people to look at. Look at those who are bringing bad name to the church, not those who are trying to point out these errors. Those so-called pastors and prophets who have turned the Christian community to a business center with all kinds of false prophecies and staged miracles and all of that, if you can bring that sanitation and sanity to the Christian community using your platform, it will be the best thing you would do for Christians, because it is the pastors who are leading people away from the church, not those who are pointing out the errors.
Boss.
But it seems he didn't listen to that.
So he won't listen to that. What they wanted to do is a mafia kind of. That the Geo cannot do that. That the Oyedepo, he cannot really, he can't stoop that low. He knows where he is and has placed his place. But Dr. Paul Enenche, on the other hand, like I told you, he's petty and insecure. So he has, and he's, see, if Bishop Oyedepo is hearing this, Daddy, with all due respect, sir, Dr. Paul Enenche, your son, is petty. And he has unforgiveness as a weakness. That the next time he brings seed to you, sit him down. He has so many people he has locked up in his heart. All the pastors that have left him are not in his good book. From Umudu, Ayo Adun, until Ayo died. But I know when Ayo was in hospital, there were 1 or 2 gymnasts. But when Ayo was alive, these are people that started the church with him the same day. People can come and leave you. They are not your enemies. You understand? Michael Ajogba, Timothy Akase is dead. The ones that will leave, they will just activate a small campaign network around you, and you start to struggle because you cannot achieve anything without help of man. And what he does is that when you are in that system, they make sure that you inherit their enemies. That's the most useless thing Dr. Paul has ever taught me. The enemy of a father-in-law is your enemy. And these people they call enemies are fellow Christians who believe in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. That's what makes you a Christian.
Just because they have
slightly opinion or you quarrel with them, you make me to hate people that never offended me. And I look at the Bible, Jesus, what you are telling me is contradict what Jesus said I should do. Why they say your father and not enemy is your enemy is to inherit their enemy. So the day you leave the system, they will disconnect you from the system. Then, since you have inherited their enemies, the people you should have built network with are no enemies. So you are stranded within 2 islands of where you used to have friends who are now see you as an enemy, and the enemies you've inherited over the years. So it's a Machiavelli principle to keep you bound. That's why I see when they leave, they get struggle. I left Dr. Paul 2011. I started building network in politics. That's why he's finding it difficult. He cannot, I don't put all those things on social media. My life is on social media. It's finding it difficult to believe because that he cannot, he thought he could but just do the guy like they know that the guy that has built network off your system since 2011 to now. There are people that have known you go and tell them I'm a thief, they'll laugh at you. That this guy has been here, he has not stolen anybody. And the thing is coming from your side, only your side. So if I don't have any problem with him, I just told you, like, God, if I'm to write a book about Dr. Paul, all the things I wrote here is what I will write. And it's better let him start hearing it now. He's 50-something, approaching 60. At this point, should be thinking of how to bring people together. That you are jumping on the stage doesn't make you a youth.
Lastly, while you were talking earlier, the beginning of this video, you said something about a nickname you were once, called in your, I think you said secondary school days. Yeah. Is it propaganda? Why were you called propaganda? Is it because you like propaganda?
In all fairness to you, I never knew the meaning. I just love the name propaganda.
I wanted to be
they
sure.
calling me propaganda.
Is it that you started this meeting?
Then when I left that school and I went to St. Francis College. Then they now call me evangelist or Bosco.
Okay.
So to me it's just
so there was a baptism from propaganda to an evangelist.
I didn't know the meaning, but I don't like the way it sounded.
Yeah.
So to me that was it's just fun and this thing. I mean, I lost my dad very early.
Yeah.
So I come from a family background. I'm not used to all this kind of fight. When Dr. Paul was doing certain things, it was strange to me. In all fairness, it was the wife. Even this our prison, I was reliably told, I don't have evidence, that it was the wife
that instigated
it with a brother.
It
was the wife. If the wife doesn't like you, you are gone. She can be laughing like you, but she's not with you. That's mine. Many things there behind is mine.
Oh, wow.
So I'm telling you, if this is ministry is love, Dr. Paul Enenche, if you are running ministry, want to see love, want to see Galatians 5. Bro, Christianity is difficult. Oh. Let me tell you, before coming here, throughout last night to this morning, I was praying for Dr. Paul Enenche. You know why? I don't want to talk from the point of hate. When you come to a point you cannot pray for that man, you are slipped into hate. And anything you do from the realm of hate, na flesh. Do you know when I was, Sarah was the reporter I would have broken this, but I begged, please, 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 please. I don't like attention. Dr. Paul was in EFCC twice with a petition that I have government files in my house. They should come and this year, the Nigeria agencies are still professionals among them. They almost disgraced him. You know, maybe you think you have one member has one member, or one GO has
you have
connection.
what kind of government files?
He went there on himself, pastor of the world's largest church. Look at what he has turned himself into. So they told him, get out. It was report that was to enter Sahara. I begged, please, 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 please. At times I was here, they said this. They told me, Enenche, when they said I should do this. Dr. Paul Enenche, see, the era of blackmail, smear campaign, you don't like this pastor, you just say all kinds of things, has gone. These days now, after the election, people even try to, anything you say, people try to go and verify now. Because now you make them feel you are assistant God, chief of staff to heaven. So they look you with that eye. But now people now try to, they ask themselves questions. I don't have anything against him. But his followers are what? The man is a human being. He has his human effort. Not be everybody they see woman, they trigger. But some people have unforgiveness as a weakness. Some people are very vindictive. How do you know that? Look at their operations over the years. Ask Dr. Paul Enenche, where is King Omudu? Where are the families of Ayo Adu? Where are the families of Patrick Ugbeku? Where are the families of Timothy Akasi? Where are the families of Pastor Saboyaro? These are some of them are late. They labor with him, they left him, they become enemy of the system. Where is Pastor Adaji? Adaji is the one in Merit House. When I know that Abraham was going to media, I went to meet Pastor Adaji. Adaji raised us. I said, Abraham is going to media. Dr. Paul, this thing must not go to media. He begged me to call Abraham. I called Abraham. Abraham came to his office at Merit House. He told Abraham, he even tried to convert Abraham to Christ. They argue Bible. Abraham didn't accept. So he now said, Abraham, okay. He now called Dr. Paul's PA and related, this guy is here. His grievances is the car. The grievances are one, the car and his marriage and stuff like that. And he believes that Dr. Paul played prominent role in it. Dr. Paul believes in, he can enter you, he will tell you me A, B, A, and tell this one B. I have people like that. No, now just a fight. Adaji now said, Enenche called me. Okay, he has called them. If it were only the car, Pastor Adaji would have said, okay, Abraham, take your car and leave my father-in-law alone. But I know Dr. Paul. He has this kind of vindictive system. If you give his enemy food, eat, you are his enemy. If you give his enemy water to drink,
problem.
For 26 days we were in prison. Dr. Paul or Adama, they didn't bring water to us in the prison because they don't know when Jesus said, when I was in prison, he visited me. They don't know that one. They only know how to take people there. When Pastor Adaji talked to Abraham, he now talked to the PA. He now told Abraham he's going to get back to him. When Abraham left, he now called me and said, Enenche, please do anything possible. Let me not go to media. Why I'll be following up from behind. Please. And I begged Abraham. Abraham said, okay, since I said Pastor Adaji, I stopped. He will not go to media. But they should give him his car. Adaji was trying to be managing the stuff. Then he now went, that December, they went to invite him. Abraham, after they arrested me, they went to invite Abraham, Adama. Abraham was running from pillar to post. You know, after the way they invited me, I wrote it on social media. They felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
So they now start to write to officially. They now wrote to Abraham wrote to his brother Alex. So when they wrote to Abraham and his brother Alex, Abraham was running from pillar to post. He went to meet Ogashowore. I said, why are you going? Those police guys are very professional. In all offense, I still have great respect for them. Even though I don't know what happened, later happened, they pushed me to prison. He said, Enenche, this man has taken me to prison twice. I know what will happen. You are the one looking at this time. Me, I'm not looking at it like that. Then Sahara Reporters now broke the news of his invitation. That was when somehow, he was to come to your studio.
Yes.
It was Pastor Daji that stopped him from not coming. He was on his way here already. And I raised the alarm to Pastor Daji. If you allow, Abraham is going to media. This man, we have problem with him, but we don't want to escalate it. He's our own. So it was when they invited him that he came here. The day he was coming here, he said I should bring him here. I said, I don't want the angel of the commission to come and be destroying my car, please. And he came here and talked about that miracle stuff and stuff like that. There's nothing anybody could have done. But when we were in prison, Dr. Paul was telling people that I was working with Abraham. Ask Dr. Paul, have you ever prayed for Abraham and Daniel? It should be a shame. Your former pastor now is an atheist. You should be crying every day. If you have the heart of Christ, that thing should break your heart. That I was working with Abraham. When he locked Abraham and his brother in the prison, I was one that went to give them food.
It became a problem.
It became a problem. He don't finish. I don't have anything to see. The only thing is that he has taken me, Dr. Paul Enenche, you have taken me to prison. Let me tell you, and you see in this life and our next life, I know they fear you again. Don't let this be the last time you ever think of taking anybody to prison. Next time, when that your spirit of vindictiveness and unforgiveness, that your petty spirit, when it jumps on you, let it be that if you want to go police and take anybody to prison, have it in mind that any case you are instituting as a criminal, you must appear in court. So that you don't go and disgrace yourself as if you don't have lawyers in your church. I see you in court. Thank you, sir. I left church, bros, that I backslided 2011 now. Just back. It started to 10, but to 11, I just left church after encountering that his system. His system can bring the beast out of any man. That's just, and no love, fleshy, very mechanical. Miracle. If you submit to us, you get it. If you don't submit, you lose. If you're not with me, you can't make it. If I don't endorse you, you can't make it. All those kind. It's very funny thing. And you know what? One mistake they are making is. It's like when you have a contrary opinion, Dr. Paul thinks you have committed a sin. But I think the God of vengeance is not doing it the way he wanted or he wants. So he has resorted to using instrumentality of the state to help God of vengeance to do what God has done.
When people hear your name, Enenche, they often mistake it for the Enenche would know. Pastor Paul Enenche. People assume that you're from his family or that you're his brother and all of that. And I want you to quickly throw light to that. Do you have any relationship whatsoever with Dr. Paul Enenche, or your own name is just unique to you? And
thank you very much. No, he's not my brother. He's from Chief D Enenche. I think the Enenche happens to be Chief D Enenche, his father.
Okay.
His father was our king, and his father ran a multi-billion naira company, this Chief D Enenche, that had many trucks. So he's from Chief D Enenche's family. I'm from Enenche Udo. He's from Chief D Enenche in Adupi or Rokamo in Ogbadipo local government. I'm from Enenche Udo family in Aidogodo Okpoga, the Ayochogbo family. Then Okpoku local government. But we have kindred in Irimo Tukpa in Ogbadipo local government. So we are from two different Enenches. Enenche is my name at birth. When my father gave birth to me at Yaba Military Hospital in Lagos, because he served in the Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps, he named me Enenche after his grandfather and gave me Peter after my mother's immediate elder brother, who retired as a director in DSS. So, but when it comes to, I'm from a conservative family. We just like to be quiet. About not everything about us you can find at the click of button. So that's just how it is.
Okay, a lot of people have. There have been a lot of stories out there saying that Enenche, Pastor Paul Enenche, sent you to prison with Abraham Daniels because with someone else, right?
You guys Alice his brother.
Okay, his brother.
His step brother, yeah.
So there have been stories that Enenche, Pastor Paul Enenche, sent you in particular to prison because of your name. They said that he accused you of stealing his name, making use of his name. And today that you're here, we want to really get deep into it. What exactly happened? What is your journey? How did you end up going to prison? And what is the story behind it? And is it because of your name or because of something else you would like to share?
Basically, me and Dr. Paul Enenche's issue have been there even from the first day we met. And my going, no, I entered comedy then because I wasn't given medicine as admission. I
Okay.
left biochemistry in Meduguri, University of Meduguri, anatomy in Ilori because I really wanted to study medicine. During my SS1 at St. Francis College, I wanted to do arts. My brother said I should do sciences because he wanted me to do medicine. So the only vision that made me to study sciences was medicine. So I couldn't envisage anything outside medicine.
Mm.
And I was writing jam. I could pass jam very well. So where they first said to write aptitude test, I got 80 over 100.
Hmm.
But then they now shifted on all the state university and state polity. They pushed me to chemistry. I wept on my matric day, 10th February 2006. I wept on that day. So I heard that this matric night they were doing. I just moved there. It was opposite second gate at Benue State University, close to Dunamis Church.
Mm.
So when I went there, I didn't wear matric gown. I couldn't see myself using the chemistry. That was just the truth. And God had gave me this grace that I can see the end of something from the beginning. So I did a post matric night. So all the FC, and I have this churchy upbringing.
Mm.
So all the president of the fellowships there present now thought, this guy, maybe I was into this for a very long time. Though I was doing it in church, Word of Flame Church, my church then, doing it in church, but it wasn't something I intended doing as a profession. I didn't see profession in it. It was something more of a hobby. So they now called me as when I did that post matric night.
Mm.
So the next Sunday, this fellowship will invite me. This fellowship will invite me. Just within 3 months on campus, my name was everywhere, Enenche. And each time they called me that Enenche, it was like a fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because Enenche, my late father, growing up, two persons were calling me Enenche, my late father and our firstborn, who is a member of the Dynamics today.
Mm.
So, and they were the ones calling me Enenche growing up. And during my educational time, I was with her and my elder brother. So it was easier for people around her to call me Enenche because, but my Enenche was not my name in school. They know, my first nickname in school was Propaganda. I didn't know the meaning. I just liked the sound of the words. Then later on, now my nickname, when I went to St. Francis College, my name in school was Evangelist Obosco.
Mm.
That was the name. Not as if I was very churchy, but I was like, I just love the name Evangelist Obosco. That was the name they were called because that was my Obonilo,
Mm.
Nancy Obosco. But the Enenche, coming to home when I was writing, I was saying my other brother and partly my other sister. So they were the one calling me Enenche, Enenche, Enenche. So people, it is easier for people that know you through setting this without calling the name. So when I started the comedy in school, I was everywhere. That was 2006 all through. It's like I now found a new passion, the passion for medicine to enter. So by November 2006, I was in Dunamis Church Makodi when Pastor Loshadaji announced that. And before then, I now went to minister at the youth meeting of Dunamis Church Makodi. And the Pastor Adaji there saw me. So he was praying and looked at me and said, see, this you are doing, you are playful with it, but the hand of God is on you.
Mm.
And he's a man of the spirit. So
Mm.
Adaji saw a destiny, he saw a talent and brought me close. I didn't know I was going to perform comedy on a Sunday service. It was Pastor Adaji that broke all those jinx. He'll keep telling me, at times prayer meeting, he'll call me, he say, see, this thing you can do it. I've seen it, there's potential in what you are doing. So Adaji was there like many of us, many of those guys that rose in Makodi within that space of time. Pastor Adaji was instrumental in raising them. And he has a very this kind of large heart.
Yeah.
He's a pastor, he's a called pastor. So I was in church when he announced the Dunamis 10th anniversary, November 2006. And I approached him, I said, Kai. And where I remember I was sitting by the left corner of the church, of the altar, down the left corner of the church. And my spirit said, you are going for this program. I didn't know. So I got into meet. I said I was going for this program. I was in school then. He said, okay, I will follow. He gave me 3,005 or so. So how do I want to go? I said I had a test. So they said I could not follow the church vehicle. And then gave me 354 thereabout. Then according to Abuja was 600 naira or so.
Mm.
And that 35415, I don't know, but there's 500 on it. So I should just come and join. So I was coming with the mind of let me just have a feel of Abuja because I was in Abuja before I went to Benin to and go to school.
Yeah.
So when I came to Abuja, the 10th anniversary, November, the November convention. So I was seated. Meanwhile, there's this music director then, Chris Ugiabe. Then Dunamis was run like a church, unlike now what they run it like one man, everything. people have loose control, and it's like, and when you have a system where people can ventilate their leadership, I can be here in your studio fulfilling your purpose in the process, also fulfilling mine. But the system they run now, you can't fulfill your own purpose. You must fulfill the purpose of this. So, because it has deviated from what a true vision really needs to be. The Chris Ugabi now saw me. Dr. Paul went to the airport to bring in his father, the Lord, highly revered Bishop David Oyedepo. And I think there was a delay or something. So Chris now quiet administered, they were waiting. So he now say, hey, Enenche, that your joke. Come and crack that your joke. I used to have this joke then about playing disaster and stuff like that. The song people were singing all kinds. So I did it, and the place was on fire. I've done it in Makodi. He had watched it, and the place was on fire. So when Dr. Paul came in, they say, "Why Enenche minister?" Me, all my mind, is a man we all envy, we all love from a distance. So coming close, you expected that, this man will just embrace you. Oh my,
the love.
But what we envisaged from a distance was totally different from what we saw when we came close. And if I had no self, I wouldn't have even come close. When he came in, they said, why Enenche was here. He was not asking me, who's your mother, who's your father, are you also my brother, all those kind of questions. I said, no, my father was a soldier, this and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, but the wife kept insisting, why would I say my name is Enenche? In all fairness to Dr. Paul, this thing didn't come from him. It was from the agitation, was more from the wife. And when I started knowing certain things along the line, you see, people tend to, when I look at you and I want to know the strength of your character, the strength of your leadership, I don't fall for what you tell me, or under your pulpit. I go to your father's household to understudy you. I look at your former allies. If I look at your former allies, they have a perfect testimony of who you are. So it's not your achievement, it's not your this, or you start bragging on the pulpit or bragging and no, that's not who you are. When we go to your father's household, we'll tell who you are. When we go and look at your former allies, we'll tell who you are. So when the agitation was coming from them much, but the system, they know me already. Other pastors started inviting me here and there. Pastor Ayo Adun of blessed memory took me to Lokoja. Pastor Timothy Akase took me to Jos, other like that. Pastor Timothy Joseph Obeya then took me to Lagos. So along the line, I now came in for Adamawa State Deputy Governor Thanksgiving. Afetil, Bishop Jato. Jato just come. I was in school. He said, Enenche, because he saw me in Makodi much more early after Pastor Adaji in this church in one Makati Park in Makodi. Usually they brought me in. I said, this guy will shake hand with presidents. The hand of God is upon you. You have grace for governance. You didn't even know. So he now said I should come to Abuja. When I came to Dunamis 10th anniversary, I now crossed over to his house. Because that was his. I attended after the all night in Dunamis. I was in his house. I tried to track his house to go to his house. Because he knew me. He said, Enenche, you are here. He said, yes. So we now went to church the first Sunday. We were in church. He was praying. It was when I was at Kefi prison, I realized what he told me on the 10th of December 2006. He was praying and then called me, sat me down. He said, a great man of God, very dark in complexion. Huge, very huge. He said, we'll so frustrate you. I've forgotten that. I wrote it down. He gave me paper to write it down. It was when I came out I was in prison when God that thing just flashed.
You remembered?
In prison, you remember even the rice you ate in your year 2 university, the meat that was on it, the woman that gave you the cloth, you remember,
and the cold water you drank.
You can think well. He said, the man is so huge. The man will so frustrate your life. He said, before you go to point A, he has called them. Before you go to point B, he has called them. Before you go to point, he will so frustrate your life. In the prison, the thing just flashed in me. Then there was a time I was going to Zuru in Kebbi State. We flew from Abuja to Brenin Kebbi. So we had to use road, Brenin Kebbi to Zuru. We passed through the river Jega and stuff like that. I was going for a justice, one of the justices. The man is still a justice in the judiciary. The daughter's wedding in Zuru. And in the plane, one man, it was free sitting. So anyway, so before the flight would take off, one man just came and sat near by my side. He said, my son. I was thinking he's an imam. He looked like an imam. He said, my son. He said, come. I was back. The spirit said I should come. And I said, which kind of spirit again? He brought out his voice. He now said, see, I am an evangelist. That the Sahara Desert is in my hands. I know every village in the Sahara Desert. That is where my calling is. I was behind there and God said I should come and talk to you. He said, there's a man of God right now who is fighting you. He can spend 1 billion for you to lose 1 million naira. He can go any length. He will go any length to make sure you are not what God wants you to be. In his mind, he's fighting you because you are devil. But hate has taken over him. He said, he has been fighting you. He said, a time will come where everything he does will start to backfire. He said, anytime you see that in his life and ministry, know that your freedom has come. People will believe him more, but the longer people start, what has this guy done to you? Because he won't have evidence to back anything he's telling you. The hand of the Lord is upon you, but he has seen your glory and said that glory will not see the light of the day. But my son, whatever you are doing, just maintain your cool. God is with you. I begged him for his number. He said, no, we will see again. And when I see, I'll remind you of this day. He didn't give me his number. We came in there, he hugged and he said he was going to Agades. So I know Agades is in Niger also. So, but he want to see some brethren in the desert. You know, he had this desert. He said that is his calling. So I'm just giving you all this background.
Yeah.
So when the agitation was coming from them, I know the system was the people accepted what I was doing, but themselves, they have a problem with the name. The wife probably told me one time that the name they were keeping for their children. Me, I just come and say my name is Enenche. But I now look at it as okay. I look at their both background. You know, when you have if you come from a background where you fight, or maybe you have plenty Enenches, and there's this tendency you have fought them from the family background. There's this propensity or tendency to start fighting any Enenche you see on the street. That 10th anniversary, to go back to the 10th anniversary, I didn't have money to go back, so I was going to meet Pastor Simon Adole if he can drop me along that Karuazi, so that Bishop Jato Church is around Kogbo. If I could just stop there. And Pastor John said, I know the accountant was looking for me. So I meant to meet the accountant. He took me to go and meet the accountant. They gave me 15,000 naira notes, 15,000 naira, 30 pieces of 500 naira. I kept that money. Whether I know my bank, I bought books. And one of the books that changed my mind, The Burden of Freedom and Law of Recognition by Mike Murdoch, Mike Morrow. I bought Law of Recognition. I bought Spending Your Money Wisely. I could remember the books because then I couldn't read the chemistry. Chemistry wasn't entering my head again, but I just feel my gap, that gap of reading. I started read chemistry and read all kinds of these things. So the name has been an issue before then. You know, the system accepted me. The people loved what I was doing, but the two of them, they had a reservation.
Because of the name.
I know the name wasn't, the name wasn't there. Dr. Paul Enenche did something to me in 2000, after his wife's 40th birthday in 2010. I thought it was a mistake. He repeated it November 2011, and I knew, this man, I don't have a future with him. His wife's 40th birthday, one Mrs. Fidelia Oyefeko called me. She's a deaconess. She was really there in them, like I told you how the ministry was, the people have say. Unlike now, you don't have a say. So the birthday was coming. She insisted I should do the MC because she has seen me. So they were bringing up other reservations. She said that in the place where we come from, you see talent, you promote the talent. You don't kill the talent just because you don't like how the talent works or how it greets people. No, you don't do that. You let that talent see the light of the day. So she overrode them at the committee level, brought me at the birthday. Then when I was at the birthday, the celebrant and the husband did not come in quick. And I don't want to preempt what made them not to come in quick, early. So Pastor Eriba now walked to me at the stage. He said, Enenche, you are here. You don't care. You are here. And daddy is telling me to take over as if there's no MC. I said, but I'm here, and that is why I'm even here. Mr. Oyefeko told him. He said, I beg, take over, Joe. He didn't know what was happening, but me, I knew. So when I finished the birthday, but that happens to be one of my best outings. I won't lie you. I'll not tell you lies, because there's one woman that God used it from that birthday that really gave me platforms. For that birthday, she saw me. The father-in-law of blessed memory, Professor Ibu, held my hands and met Dr. Paul, said, this guy is gifted. Hold him very well. To tell you the impact of the birthday. The next day, he now called me, I should come. I came to the office. On my mind, then we were still trekking. I was thinking, you say, thank you, you did well. When you thought you've done your best. He said, he discovered that during a birthday, I was calling some people's names that were in there. I said, yes, the committee people handed me over a name. And on those names there, I remember two names in that list I was mentioning. The former minister of Niger Delta, His Excellency Orubebe, was there, and one AVM Odeshola then was on the list. I called them I said they gave me the list that I should just recognize them. These are probably children that maybe they understand if they have representative, just to mention their name. That's what they told me. They said I should run through the names. He said, why will I do that? The man dragged this thing by, used it to create a problem, escalated the problem. I was now wondering, is this? So I now discover, okay. I left. Even 1 naira take for transport, you don't come. And now you come your office. I carry transport, come. Even 1 naira, he didn't say, I just left. So this November 2011, he did the same thing again. I used to have this Martin Luther King speech, I have a dream. I've done it in area 1 before.
Yeah.
I've done it. I followed Dr. Becky to do it in Maraba branch. You understand? And I could recite the Martin Luther King speech, I have a dream. The one he delivered in August 28, 1963 or thereabout. But I could recite it from words to words. Then I found myself reciting a Nigerian version. So when I woke up, I wrote it down. I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. 50 years ago, then when Nigeria was 50 years. Great Nigerians or no sacrifices, Nigeria gained our independence, got the independence declaration. This declaration came as a great big light of hope to great Nigerians. To great Nigerians whose services and waiting. Now, there are those. No, I'm going somewhere now. There are those. But 50 years later, the life of Nigeria is still sadly crippled by the manacles of corruption and chains of poverty. 50 years later, Nigerians are still languishing, and Nigerians are still stranded with many questions of waiting on unanswered promises. There are those who are asking, when will Nigerians be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as our educational sector, which is a educational sector which is supposed to produce solutions providers, is busy breeding job seekers. We can never be satisfied as long as the only organ of our public hospitals that work at 80 to 95% efficiencies are mortuaries. We can never be satisfied as long as corruption keep blossoming, blah, blah, blah. I was saying it. And even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream which is deeply rooted in the Nigerian dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out a true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my children will one day live in a nation where elections will not be a do or die affair, but a free and fair affair. This is our faith and this is our hope. This is the hope I go back home with. With this hope, we'll be able to pray together, work together, and live together, knowing that somehow and one day this nation must be free. And if Nigeria must be free, and this nation must be free, then let hope bring. Let hope bring from the food basket of Benue. Let hope bring for the Caliphate Palace in Sokoto. Let hope bring from the Third Mainland Bridge of Lagos. Let hope bring from the coal mines of Enugu. Let hope bring from the palace of waiting in this. I tell you, let hope bring. And when we allow this happen, we allow hope bring. We will let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city. We'll be able to speed up that day well on Nigerians. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Idoma, Tiv, Itilo, Igala, Benin, Kanuri, Nupe, Bagi, Isoko, Ishekiri, Ijo, etc. We join hands at the National Cemetery, Abuja, rejoicing at the funerals of corruption and poverty, and singing with words of old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, Nigeria is free at last. You know, it's very lengthy. It's been long I said it, but if I look at the script, maybe I'll reshoot. Maybe I'll shoot it again. I don't know. I did this, but before then, I did it in Area 1 church. Dr. Paul did not open Bible. He didn't open Bible. The Holy Spirit just took over. We pray for Nigeria until church closed. He didn't even preach. So they now say, okay, at that point, it's a system that when you are growing influence, they want to cut you down. It's a fleshy. They used to be mild before, but now they do it full, like a full profession. So November 2011, I did it in Airport Road. But before that, I did one joke before the event. I did a joke. I said, Dr. Paul, because he's not a doctor again, and he's God is using him anyway, but he's spoiling market for his doctor's colleague. That anytime he wants to visit any of his medical student, colleague, he said, Dr. Paul, he said, yes, I'm in town. Can I come and greet you in the hospital? He said, please, where are you? Let me come and greet you, because if you come here now, you come and heal these people now. And, it was something that people laughed. Just a my joke to appreciate God's grace on his life and stuff like that. He said, why will I? He now called me again, that 2011. Me, I was thinking, okay, this thing carries fire. There's no way I recite that dream. Because of you, I won't dump the whole thing self. I don't leave church. I just, I beg. He called me again. I said, and that joke I cracked before I gave that stuff. Stuff that I gave that everybody were crying. They even brought me during when, like, 4 a.m. when everywhere was cold. They had that event where ShopRite is now in Lugbe. Because they used to call it trade fair ground. They couldn't use a ground. That was the place they had that event. He called me again and said, and that joke I cracked. As usual, he took that joke
Out of context.
magnify it out of context, gave it its own meaning, started. I said, no, this is not Christ. He told me this thing the first time. I wept. I left his office. I just told myself, I don't have future with this man. I wept from his office. Then I was still trekking now. Wept from Area 1 office to Apple Bridge before I carried car and left. But then we start having our friction. That joke that announced me in night of 2007. That joke, I was in Water Flame Church, that development center, when Holy Spirit said I should give out all my offering. I didn't know why. I just dropped it. I know where I don't know where it is, but my spirit told me. So I was thinking there was a provision outside. Maybe if he tells me to drop it,
that you make provision.
Bros, I stood in car park. Everybody were greeting me and going. Nobody asked me. Even my pastor, Reverend Victor Atokolo, innocently, and his wife. Enenche, okay, you're fine, ba? Yes, he drove and left. So I started trekking from Start Development Center to number 26 off Castle Street, my house. On reaching that big division junction, I saw a banner, this yellow banner, that the Adeboye was coming. I know in Abuja I was attending Redeemed Church, the Living Spring Parish. Pastor Dan Ogun was my pastor. Mr. Agbaye was a Sunday school coordinator. Mrs. Angela Demo was my teenage class. This thing. So I grew up in church. So when I saw it, seeing that it's like you go to a town, you saw your pastor is coming. And I was still, I watched it. I was admiring the billboard and the name. And I say, so you will come now. You say, oh, Baba, you are greater than the greatest. Can somebody shout hallelujah? And I smiled. I moved forward under the sun. 2006. So it's just 6. That meeting was held at Aperaku Stadium. I want to move forward and say, what if it was a Catholic church? And I say, oh, you say in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, can somebody, St. Mary pray for us, St. Jude pray for us, and I say St. Toby. I got that joke under that sun. And I say, what if it was Christ Embassy? Mama, all things you ever need in your life, they are wrapped up in the word. Go for the word. You understand? So that's how I got the joke. The first place I did that joke was Living Faith Makodi. It was one of my friends, Marcos Ijoma. He's a photographer and a media guy now. He's in Port Harcourt. He was one that told me I should put Christ Embassy last. So when I came for the Adamawa State Deputy Governor Thanksgiving, I was at home in Bishop Jato's house when I had a program on Women's Center. And I copied the number and called them. They invited to their office in Zone 7. And I went. I said, please, if you can give me microphone. Before I go back, and that's where I should come. I now went to Women's Center, the venue of the event. So I was talking outside, clean the drunk. I can remember. I've forgotten the other persons. They were inside. The big guys. So the laughter coming up didn't sound like upcoming because they say no, we have more coming to use to. They call the program ABC, Art for Behavioral Change Campaign. One Afi then was their coordinator, but she later left Nigeria. So I now begged them. I was now cracking this joke. Clean the drunk, heard the laughter. I said, this laughter is not normal. And now came and stood by the close on the altar by the side of the stage. And clean the drunk. So when I was coming, now hugged me. He carried his phone and called Opa Williams. And said, I've seen one guy. Oga, you need to see this guy. So Opa Williams now gave me, say I should collect his number. And I called Opa Williams and give me an address that should send any video I've ever done. So Love Idoko, she's this woman into media and youth ministry also. Love Idoko had a program in Makodi that I did comment this same joke. So I went to meet one of my guys, Austin or Obaje. I'm calling names now because I now begged Austin that okay, Opa Williams I should bring video. I know you cover this Love Idoko's event. Can you give me? He now cut the video, gave to me. He now gave me 700. I didn't even have money. He now gave me 700 and I went to DHL office in Uruku Makodi and sent the video to Opa Williams. That's why Opa Williams watched it and invited me September 2007. So I performed the joke October. When I even performed the joke at this thing at Lagos, it was Dr. Paul Enenche's brother, then he was a colonel. He had me when I shared the testimony in Dunamis and said, okay, I should go to his transport, Silver Travel. He was the one that gave me a seat in his Silver Travel's motor. And I called Pastor Joseph Obeya. He was a pastor in Lagos then. I slept in his house. His wife gave me one egusi soup I'll never forget. So Pastor Joseph now took me to Muson Center. I did a joke. They gave me money. But when I was coming, he still gave me money. So the money Pastor Joseph gave me was enough to take me back to Makodi. When I was going at Redemption Camp, I had it in my spirit. The money they gave from that 1,000 life is a seed. When I got to Makodi, I met my pastor, Reverend Victor Atokolo. Then he was living in the modern market house, market gate. I think the last turn by your left. I said, sir, I've gone to night of 1,000 life. This is my money. And I didn't touch it. They say I should give you, the money is a seed. I gave it to him. He prayed and I left. When that joke came out number 40, that joke was everywhere in Nigeria.
Yes.
But then I was having issue. No, unlike now, there's no internet. I thought I say, we don't crack the real joke through in. And now I just get locked now. You cough now, it's everywhere. People were even looking for me. I do tell me, say, they are looking for you. Where have you been? But I was having issue with chemistry in school because the passion changed. I was not, at that point. But when that joke came out, the message behind the joke was, if you carry an anointing like this glass now, this glass, the way this glass is now, if this is an anointing, you carry it and pour on 10 people's head. This anointing in this glass will have a 10 unique manifestation, which means none of us are the same. The way this guy is handling this camera is for how somebody else will handle it. The same anointing can operate. So it just bring out the uniqueness. They took arm robber to this church. You said this. They took, if you watch the joke, they took it to Living Faith. That they said the problem you arm robbers have is that you cannot. If you not capture what, if I haven't forgotten the joke, you refuse to capture what is written in the scripture. That is why you cannot be featured in the future. That is his uniqueness. But Dr. Paul, I quoted him in the joke. He used to be inside that joke. You cannot be dodging away from battle and expect man to. Can somebody shout hallelujah? But I see that he said, who am I to use Papa Adebo to do joke? Who am I to use Oyedepo to do joke? That was his problem. In all fairness, that was when I know that he had problem about the name. But I think he has seen something to justify. It's like giving a dog a bad name to hang the dog. That was where the onslaught between me and him started. And today, look at Living Faith. Look at Redemption Camp. They are mimicking Daddy Adeboye, and people are laughing. They are mimicking Daddy Oyedepo. People are laughing. I've heard things about that Dr. Paul said about me. I know he has never liked me. This kind he has been. Because when I left in that 211, when he did that stuff, I said, no. I went to Pastor Ayo, Pastor Ayo's church in Lokoja, Millennium something.
So all this while you were with Paul Enenche.
No, we're not. We Idomas, we have this. It's our culture that when your brother is doing something, you support him. It's an Idoma inherited culture. Like as you are like this now, if you help an Idoma man, and I hear that if President Tumi, for example, or maybe President, that's why you see Idomas naturally they like when you help their brother. They like you. That's why it's just a natural. I just felt this sense of loyalty towards you. He has helped one of our brothers because we are known for something. The man doesn't believe in. We don't boot leak. We don't leak boot. We believe in. The man can be proudly be drinking his Gary and is comfortable with it. You prefer that to licking your boot, so he will look at you in your eyes and tell you the truth. So when we saw our brother doing well, all of us actually rally around him like, oh, it's our brother, irrespective of church. And those days in Dunamis, you see somebody who is a worker in maybe in Equa, he's in Dunamis church. He goes, this is my brother, he needs my support. Somebody who is in other church, because we thought that is how we are brought up. It's our brother, you push your brother. So I was attending Word Flame, but when I came to Abuja, I wanted to start in Dunamis. But the friction, I even started their prayer meeting. In my life, I have where I fall anyway. I have my flaws. I don't know how good that star Enenche tastes like. If I pray, I get inspiration. If I don't, if flesh take over me, maybe they go put one or put here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know be sent. You know as it is. So it's like I left church for 1 year until I ran into one billboard. No matter how broken you are, God will fix you. There's one thing about God. If you have tasted God before, you cannot leave him. Except you never tasted God. You cannot, no matter how you go, you have it. So somehow God reconnected. That's the church I attended today. And
so the story, how come? What led to the prison? The prison issue. Is it that this story you told now? Is it what degenerated to the point where
at that point when I left Doctor, I didn't leave him per se. When I left Dr. Paul, when I even left, I didn't even leave him. I didn't like the operation. You can't read Miles Moreau. Miles Moreau is the antidote to the excesses of Nigerian Pentecostalism. These are current mafia policies they run. You can't read Miles Moreau and fit in. That's the truth. You can't read Miles Moreau and fit in. What I saw around, I just felt I don't have a future with him, and I went on my own. And Dr. Paul believes when you have a contrary opinion to his, it's an attack. He sees it that way because he has built a system where you cannot. There's no feedback. Anything he does is him and that. So when I left and they start saying that, oh, this guy is not with us, the usual weapon of smear campaign comes in. They smell you on. See, bros, I've led these former pastors. They've told me since I came back from prison, I've heard it. They've told me, they told me this about you. They told me this about you. I was in the conference center when he was having issue with is it issue or issue? I speak Nigerian English a bit, but he was having issue with one of the North Western governors. And they played me video of where Dr. Paul was sat in one place and was just castigating, body cameras castigating me. They brought the papers I should just sign with some kind of. But I said, no, if I'm having issue with my brother, it's not you that should come and dabble in it. I know, I've never believed, even this, you invited me here. Did I come? Until my spirit has to carry it. So I know we have an issue. Even in 2000 and January 2nd, 2011, at the height of the jing, I was going to pay because I was only coming from Abuja, going back, going back. I was going to pay my rent 200,000 naira. And I had it in my spirit, it was a seed. I was going to water flame. God is saying, no, take it to Dunamis. I called Pastor Lord Chadaji. He came to his office. I said, this is my rent. And God said it was a seed. And he did one thing that I love so much, very transparently. He called the accountant, said, Enenche brought seed. And they issued me a receipt. It was one of my brothers, my cousins, Elegwadejo, my maternal cousin, that misplaced down my book. The receipt was inside. I came to Abuja here to raise rent. So I was squatting with Dillion, my friend, and John Omafu. I would stay here, short 2 years, stay here. At that point, I started having disappointment in the system, the way I was expecting the thing to happen wasn't happening. That was the 2010, that 20 or stuff like that. So I met one barrister on Facebook. We became friends. He has a very great wife. The wife is to me is like a sister, like a blood sister. Nice, one of the nicest women I've ever met. So I will go into the house. So I was in the house one day, and somebody packed out of a house and dropped the key. He came to drop the key and the meter card and stuff. The barrister looked at me and said, can't you raise this kind of money in a year? I said, right now I can't, but I can raise maybe towards the middle of the year or before the rent expires. He said, okay, I'm the one managing it. Instead of, I won't tell them that somebody is there, but I'll make sure we had the arrangement. I was paying the money to his wife's account and I moved into the house. That was September 2011. And I saw that rent January 2nd, 2011. That day I was moving into the house. I was weeping on the Okada because I only had my bag and my books.
Try.
Nothing again. But I moved into the house. Then I bought a mattress, kept in the room. It was a 1-bedroom apartment with kitchen, store, and stuff like that. I was weeping on the bike when I was saying, so now the Enenche be this. So when I went to do the meter of the house, the first meter I went to buy, those days you go to NEPA and pay, and I saw Dr. Paul Enenche on the meter. And I went to meet Barrister Paul. His name is Barrister Paul. This house, who has it? I said, Dr. Paul, is it a mistake? He said, no, Dr. Paul owns that building, that block. That the church owns the one before that one. That when they're building the estate, the church bought, Dr. Paul bought. You understand? So he's the one managing the project. Do you think it was coincidence I sold my seed? I didn't know the Barrister Paul from anywhere. It was Facebook we met. I didn't even know him from Makodi. 2000 and January 2nd, 2011, and September, he moved to Dr. Paul Enenche's house, even without paying rent, but you pay the rent. I live in that house from September 2011 to October 25th, 2014. You understand? And all through, I even left November and December rent there because I paid 6 months. I was to leave. I knew I was leaving. So the brother who took over from Barrister Paul came and was just shouting that I should. I said, I've paid 6 months. It will expire December. And now look at you here in September, raking, I should just give you the balance. So at that point, I just moved to another new house built by a general. Understand? I'm just giving you all this because I'm hearing some funny things like they gave me a house, they put me on. That was a lie. I've never collected 1 naira, a dime from Dr. Paul Enenche's hand like this. The few times I minister for them in the church, they gave me an honorarium of 20,000. I've never collected a dime or put me on any salary. It's a lie.
Wow. This one is fire. Thank you so much for coming, and I applaud your courage.
Thank you.
And as we do it here at Cartridge Podcast, I've consistently said that what we'll do here is we are trying to bring reconciliation, true reconciliation into the church of God. I encourage the big daddy Jews, our papas in the Lord, please learn how to accommodate people, learn how to love people, learn how to become true representatives of what Christ represented. That way, people will respect the Christian community more. You see, all these things that people are doing, fighting, you can't fight it. This generation is too stubborn. You can't fight it. You can't. If you're watching this video, thank you for watching. Thank you for following through. And please ensure you share it. I love you. I remain your host, KAE, and see you next time.